Ache ya saba tena se dia gure mu nsem Abraham kopim se dum yenu ebebo Arsenal the Gunners. In fact anopai ushi Arsenal fan bia otimu se the feeling ushi no na ne body language creature say anopai feeling no a different crowd because you can say with a game to spare Arsenal at the Premier League at the assume now so 22 years in Arsenal in the Premier League, finally, the Arsenal at the assume now. So now, shown in the for Arsenal Football Club, the Gunners, correlations on the Premier League, at the SC Almona. So, and Bournemouth, fear, I'm Man City about 1-1, and see Arsenal at the league, and so the assume now. So, of course, Chelsea, Esha Torium must be coming, Torium etse kano eye bako enti awon some of our show no so join your live our YouTube in Short TV oba na was subscribe to me no e dia mama titiru Arsenal fans and pay mama home messages yes Arsenal fans they be done but say after winning the league do na asa back enti and pay Arsenal fans mama home messages our insurance 4.5 Oko YouTube page hona in Short TV for message ja hona garu from the come nearby ya can messages out do amde aba show no so edna and so anopay na Europa League and then a final no baso Freiburg and Aston Villa and na eba and also me say garu from the hunsempi ebe brain awo dwumadie no aso ansane abefie na the under 17 African Cup of Nations ekoso awo Morocco Ghana yensu ejinem Black Air Starlet manche no yewo aye group D na enanyume I will be my son Morocco yene omeya from South Africa and na air 7 p.m. na sa game in fact akwan bia so Ghana yetimi enya aye win no because also yen group na which is group D no obia points and it seems like no adna your points and from pile just 1 point internal but who cook I'll say it to me a show me from South Africa and you may not it mean qualifications no at the head of the game no prosper na tegum on a coach at the man under 17 abobo kuno on in some PE and na dia to dani na jese yakoba na ebidi san komini na no at the emamo insurance 4.5 garbage ram gabi the foreigner at for Odian Eko Amane Riches Donkor Obetimi Afreme Richardo. Good morning and thank you very much for choosing Israel Passports and now open Pamcho. Yes, you may dinner see a day a fee. Amene.
Dachi and Kilbiara and we are seeing now Dania computer.
John, how to say? You didn't hear me say. Dear me, pa. It's you and some of the baby. What do you say for him?
Where do you want us to start from?
You started from Brazil. Squad, no, yeah, I'm call up no. Japedu a man for receive questions say name me a renting and will be any injury situation. We prepare sa e kamera so why injury prone. Enti edie na beba Carlo Ancelotti ebetimi afa a half fit Neymar edena kobo a whole World Cup na João Pedro even say yakasei oko Chelsea team ni ma ono na supporters na voting as the best player at the man here Chelsea die na bema Carlo Ancelotti such a player waka so one World Cup
which I think that's Inca Brazil lists France lists Curaçao list. Obi THO because I didn't see the Brazil list Hong Kong. But the truth is that in the context of the World Cup, Brazil your maya untimin ninja. So it's a big nation. Now, if you want to understand how Brazilians see the World Cup, means one with a video of Seniana Joao Pedro Bush and 40 on them, and they were waiting for the announcement to come.
But Jeff
is the image. Now, almost not say senka, by the time I can do baby, Naka Joao Pedro Diabem, and you don't qua. There's a video of Hendrick. Now Oboni season away from Lyon, Abba Madrid, Abba Bechain. There is Rafinha and Nhyira. After the announcement, so they are celebrating. For Brazil, a big thing. And in fact, Rich, and when you maybe 9:30, 10 almost start the process now. If you look at the pomp and pageantry, Brazil for President Bano Abekasa, we Bano Abekasa, then na Oma Makaro Ancelotti Atono Boasia 1991 Ediaba. Then announces the list of the players that are going to be there. So for Brazil, it's a big thing. Ubeka, just in the last few days, Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. a little bit of an issue kakra in Brazilian football. Not Santos football game. Now on a slight injury, and Okotina chain. Okotina chain, Santos for his one by substitution. Nippon no mean if number 31. But fourth official no name of Mufrimu, and my name I said down Tiasie. In fact, the sense of people now, the officials, the fourth officials, no Eric check camera and say, and you know. And then come in a film because Neymar wants to go to the World Cup. For Brazilians, it is a dream. It is a dream. Like I think it's more so every country, but not Brazil. There, I say a next level with
the pride.
Yeah, for them, the World Cup is something else for them.
Also, country. I mean,
the most successful country in the World Cup. In terms of World Cup, the country be anywhere more successful than the Brazilians. Even now, a European football dominates. The Brazilians have been very successful. It's You understand where the sentiments are coming from, and baby and Yomako. But DBR especially as a Ghana analyst, the Baname analysis. Now, constantly I do this analysis, and I'll do it again in the foreign front. In tournament football, and yet only about play or form, Mr. And you say you watch 29 goals, 30 goals in T, automatically you have to go and play tournament football. It's not like that. Usually, they are their coaches in tournament football, and they say, open different profiles, the personalities, based on the way or no one chance against okay. Your friend is saying the general style of play about tournaments in it, but there is also a possibility that tournaments will tail towards this side. I'll give you an example. If you take the French national team squad, Eduardo Camavinga Edin Enim, Orient Chimeni Edin Ewum, Adrian Rabiot Edin Ewum, N'Golo Conte Edin Ewum, Malo Gusto Edin Ewum. Now, if you look at the list on surface level, you can ask questions. Adrian Rabiot Kwakobo World Cup na Eduardo Camavinga Etifi. But it is how DJ Deschamps wants to play. Or person boss 4-2-3-1. Enka Abenti friend Hugo Ekitike or I was suspecting that one of those midfielders would have sat back because he would have used Ekitike as an inside forward and then sent Abenti friend Hugo Ekitike. So sometimes about that. Now, if we analyze Brazil for listening one after the other, you're forgetting about goalkeepers. You're sent defenders. Alexandra Bonne. So for fullback, it comes to him. Jason Bremer for Juventus. He has been one of their standout centre backs in Italy for a while now. Danilo, very much experienced. Douglas Santos, Abrantes friend Gabriel Magalhaes. He's going to be a starter in the team. Then you take Abrantes friend Ibanez, Leo Pereira, Marquinhos. So Gabriel Magalhaes and Marquinhos are going to be the starting centre backs. Wesley, your fullback. So those two fullbacks are going to be there. Then you go to the middle of the pack. Udu Wanuma of Bruno Guimaraes. Any problem? We'll be able to say Bruno Guimaraes beko. But this is where the issue comes in. Casemiro. Any Abrantes friend Fabinho. Before Ancelotti, the Brazilian coaches were not calling Casemiro for a while now. Because for them, like Casemiro are born a bone. But Ancelotti has worked with Casemiro for a long time. In the best successful years at Madrid, not only Casemiro in the year, this season Casemiro has been way better. He knows Casemiro. And we should the fact that the Fabinho aka Casemiro one. It is clear that he wants to play more of the game without the ball. I don't think Ancelotti is going to play in the World Cup like the way Brazil for one born in the derby. I don't think so about the samba, tricky, passing, tiki-taka style in the derby. I think that what Ancelotti wants to go and do at the World Cup is to shut up shop. Play 2 DMs. I feel like game ways or Kobono over 4-3-3 krana, Obobo Guimaraes, Obobo Fabinho, Obobo Casemiro. 2 Abubunia for me 6 actually. Then plays an 8 now acts like a 10. No about 2 wingers. Because of the style of play, he has to get 2 wingers that are pacey and tricky. That is where Gabriel Martinelli comes in. That is
of Arsenal.
Of course, of Arsenal. Player of who pace running down the touchline. Now, so what's our style of play? Now, you also need an outlet. I got Thiago. So, I got Thiago probably has more goals than Joao Pedro. But as a hold-up player, physically dominant, aerial duels, Sadian, he has a slightly over Abrantes friend Joao Pedro. Now you take Obi say Ryan here, Brazil for latest star boy who play from the right wing. You add Obi say Neymar da Silva Santos, also tricky winger from out of the wing or even central areas. Where my issue comes in, that was at least to me now, is on 2 players that can play either as a second striker or a centre forward for Joao Pedro.
Why not?
Matheus Cunha and Hendrick. And I've seen very good arguments. Say Matheus Cunha in the last games of Brazil, boy, Paraguay, he played well. That is okay. But if you look at the
the answer Manchester United,
but not as much as Joao Pedro or club level. Club level, Joao Pedro de Bono. At the national team level, if you want to look at just data, he has had just 1 goal and 1 assist in 21 games for Team Friend in Brazil. But in terms of performance, people always point out to that Paraguayan game and the France game. In that Paraguay and France game, Joao Pedro was okay. One the best player on the night, but he was okay in that game as well. Most especially was Hendrick. Hendrick had a good season at Leon. But I feel like in terms of the all-round quality, Joao Pedro beats me because Joao Pedro beats my ball right wing, beats my ball left wing, beats my ball center side, beats my ball main striker. So all of these 4 attacking positions, Joao Pedro could give it to you. But again, it can be something as minute as Matheus Cunha, Edemano in the dressing room, Joao Pedro Famano. It can be something as the relationship. Matheus Cunha with some of the players. James said it's going to be important. Joao Pedro Famano. So in all of that, yes. Chelsea, you feel worried. Joao Pedro himself will feel worried. But I like the mentality. So what's your statement? Not the Abana. For him, he has to move on. Niame Yan is a one shiny and then we Tottenham was Penebebrehum. Because any buffon and then you're match. Watch or the Kogu Tottenham was special. But at age 24, 25, there's a possibility of a World Cup in future. Yes, it may do already 28, 29, but if you are saying there is an opportunity for life.
And Jose Mourinho back to Real Madrid.
So what you say?
Why never occurred to us.
Exactly.
Say maybe Jose Mourinho career dream. Back to Real Madrid. Araboni there. And you know sometimes and I'm that's what I first anko mu idiaba. Yeah. Who says ye fie komu ya. Collapse and the band ye komu na. Ya me catch na man for say. Sa sentiment na de kasa. Yeah. Say ya collapse ya yin jai.
Of course.
And na elf ni na she coach na chi and na am ya free win yin jai. Oh yeah. She collapse on a lot in going to it.
Goes into it. Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Yeah.
Relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And coach no on your brand na ya adwuma pe
ebi kwampo Matheus Cunha ba the way sebe or Jimmy anase bia oyi asresem teammates all of those things are important in the dynamics because of
me say
collapse. It's important.
Talent lot me ministry.
Yeah.
But I mean say ade ba ko pe be mo di Neymar ko.
Yeah.
Upo Neymar is
yes, of course. Big. He wanted to give Neymar the last dance and see that one get
Neymar is too big. Oh Brazil.
Yeah. See.
It is your Kobo World Cup near the name of qua.
Yeah.
A D name and on the clout.
Yeah, of course. And already no crap.
Anything another be a catch a man for say do it. Yeah,
woke up and saying 70 it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it did.
Oh, it is what it is. It drew on us a bar. Like I don't agree with Ancelotti on this, but it is not too extreme. The news of Josep Guardiola free Manchester City now Enzo Maresca corner. I'm very excited. I've said this several times in this job. One of the things I will constantly be proud of myself with is not being the kind of guy I want to re-echo the Obiaka and Anyankofu Bibrieka just to be popular in the eyes of people. If not for nothing, Manchester City for Emma Enzo Maresca Jumani has proven that he is a top brain. Because Pep Guardiola a free club and we are looking for a replacement. That's Enzo Maresca Neba. It tells you how much of a good guy the guy is. And of course, everybody knows that Juma Wabe or Chelsea was telling Obiehu say Obabe boy Juma Chelsea Football Club and he has gotten a Man City job. I think at City he has an opportunity to do a lot of successful things. Obetimi akoye honum and yebe training akoshe the yebe kosuho. Whatever the case is with Hansi Dieter Flick, any Barcelona, the corner extension is good. And which Maminka same way. A human answer it a flick ayo Barcelona no. For me, he is the most important person in the club, both players and coaches. Not even Lamine Yamal. Which okay, the numbers are Rafinha, Lamine, Lewandowski, Edema Barcelona. The season, like as last season, Abraham Omoko Champions League. You know now there was a possibility of the Ballon d'Or. Okay, okay, the numbers Rafinha give them. Yeah. Which this season, Rafinha got almost half of that. That's what saying. Lamine Yamal same. Robert Lewandowski in the form they pay, but still one man prevailed. Hansi Flick. In all of the facts, the main figures of Barcelona team in form at Depeno, he was able to get the boys to be successful. And it was a domestic double and almost another season. So that tells you the quality of Hansi Flick as a manager. Say, yes, style of playing and for criticizing. For 2 seasons, from a domestic treble to a domestic double. Yes, in the Champions League, they're falling short. But that's more about, say, Barca for air top players that suits that style of play for him. It's the reason why many agents with the Flick why extending the contract, but I'm also worried for him. Because Rich, at the end say ya nebe kono na in 2028 Barca intimi anto especially center backs o metimi aibo Hansi Flick born amana ye be we no on timi in the Champions League ni bi based on what went on last season and what has gone on this season. They constantly fall short from their center back area this season in the quarter final. So Bekaya in that first leg Abranche Fani Pau Kubasi could do a red card. Do you remember? A red card away. If Kubasi was probably in both legs, maybe Barcelona could have turned it down. Apart from Kubasi, you don't have the centre backs that have the dominance ability to play. 2 seasons ago, it was Gerard Martin that fell short. So it tells you that centre back in the other season, centre back this season, Barca have issues in terms of getting the depth of centre backs that can play the game, especially for Hansi Flick. Maybe it is time for them to go on and then invest in Abranche Freno, Alessandro Bastoni, or whoever they think are left-footed centre back beats me a bossa abona. Hansi Flick air pair to be able to give them the Champions League. Because Rich, near Barcelona, and they say even in the worst days of Barcelona, they won the Spanish La Liga. Joao Paulina Mababe Spanish La Liga Nibida. Joao Paulina mo Omaje Spanish La Liga Nibida. Omu free a friend is saying free Saudi Arabia or China came to Spain and then won it. Certain players that Brana Barcelona were going through tough times, they still won the Spanish La Liga. In fact, if you look at Madrid's dominance, they become Madrid dominance. Usually Madrid's dominance is in Europe. In all of those years that Madrid kept on dominating Europe, Barcelona would dominate in Spain. So you win the Spanish La Liga, it's not a new thing to them. Even Xavi Hernandez, the La Masia boys not the Spanish La Liga nibi. Nhyira can say if 2028 comes, now still Hansi Flick does not tell him. Now on J, the Champions League, in addition to all the successor, he may be tactical, he may be brilliant. I will sing a song, but history will not be kind to him. If you are having conversation about top coaches, not just in the eyes of Barcelona players, if he doesn't have the Champions League, people ask, now Barcelona it is just the league, a league that Xavi won, a league that this won, a league that won, and that is where Barcelona would have to make certain changes and make sure say Neymar beats Marco.
As of the Bayern at the Bundesliga.
I mean, it is not exactly. Barcelona wins the league, so okay. I think that in extending the contract for Hansi Flick, I said Barcelona extend, they said they value him, right, and then do more for it. Mami for we see. Just a few seconds. Rich, only the danger of Chelsea appointing Xabi Alonso. The danger Chelsea reappointing Xabi Alonso. And I mean that time in changing, but I'll say it this way and I'll come back to you again. Rich, for the very first time, Chelsea for a coach power. Oma Maresca bi. Nkofo krasi my Chelsea for Maresca ndini ye. Oma Pochettino bi. Oma Graham Potter bi. Oma Rossinier bi. Maybe all of these guys truly they didn't deserve it when they were coming. Maybe Pochettino did, but the rest maybe they did not deserve it based on Musivi when they were coming. Xavi does on the surface of it. But Rich, Xavi doesn't have the track record of building a team. Until for the very first time, we can be unanimous in agreement in terms of say Xavi tactically good. Xavi a winner, he's a proven winner. But all of us cannot agree on is the fact that you look at the two teams that Xavi is coaching now. He wasn't the de facto person that was making the final decisions in terms of purchases. At Leverkusen, it was Simon Roofs. at Madrid, Florentino Perez and in the team, of course, Jose Angel Sanchez and Juli Califat must start together, and then make sure they will find and get the players to come in. I hope. Sadio, I say who will be either so one like Luis Campos. He's brilliant at getting the best players. Mikel Arteta was Sadio and spotting the best talents and bringing them to the team. It is the biggest gamble at Chelsea for a take on Jabi Alonso. I just hope say as Chelsea have decided to make certain tweaks now, the biggest gamble that they take doesn't come back to hurt them. And season is starting this summer, we'll be able to tell if truly Xabi Alonso can go on and then do the job at Chelsea. And then you may say matches so. More quotes amount for English Premier League matches me and Belgian League and also games on Michelle, my main man quickly MOT for Michelle. I'll be to my file pen and no paper. Oh, Fifi Manfred on all social media handles. So I'm first one a BW571CA6F4. Second one a BW571C9967. Third one a BW571C88DB. Fourth one a BW57188-1D4. Fifth one a BW57187878. And last one a BW718716E. Rich Midas.
Yes, we are. I feel now do a feature now to say. It is me asi. It is me asi pa. Meet you and somebody be. What do you say free?
Where do you want us to start from?
You started from Brazil. Squad, no, yeah, I'm call up no. Jean Pedro knew. A man for receive questions say name me a maintenance will be any injury situation. We prepare sa e come as why injury prone. Enti e dey na beba Carlo Ancelotti. Ebetimi afa a half fit Neymar. E dey na kobo a whole World Cup. Na João Pedro even say I can say Oko Chelsea team ma. Ono na supporters na voting as the best player. E dey ma Chelsea. Dey na bema Carlo Ancelotti such a player. I guess one for them go World Cup.
Which I think that's Inca Brazil lists, France lists, Curaçao lists. Ubi THO because I didn't see the Brazil list Hong Kong. But the truth is that in the context of the World Cup, Brazil your Maya untivin ninja. So it's a big nation. Now, if you want to understand how Brazilians see the World Cup, means one with a video of sending a Joao Pedro Bussian 40 on them, and they were waiting for the announcement to come.
Jeff
exactly. This is the image. Now, almost not say Senka, by the time I can do baby, Naka Joao Pedro Diabem, and you don't. There's a video of Hendrik, Anna Oboni season away from Leon, Abba Madrid, Abba Bechain. There is Rafinha in the area. After the announcement, so they are celebrating. For Brazil, a big thing. And in fact, Rich, and when you maybe 9:30, 10 almost start the process now. If you look at the pomp and pageantry, Brazil for President Bano Abekasa, then na Oma Carlo Ancelotti at Tono Boasia 1991 Ediaba. Then announces the list of the players that are going to be there. So for Brazil, it's a big thing. Just in the last few days, Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. A little bit of an issue kakra in Brazilian football. Not Santos football game. Now on your slight injury, and Okotina chain. Santos for his one best substitution. Nippon no mean if number 31. But fourth official no name of Frimu. And my name I say down tiasie. In fact, the sense of people now. Me officials, natural fourth officials, no Eric check come and say, and you know.
Into I'm in 7 baby, how do you best start to be?
First of all, let me mention this. On the way Brazil a squad in the buy, you know. There are a section of Nkofoa. They are surprised why arguably and probably Chelsea's best player of the season, Joao Pedro, I may say out of the squad. No. Now, a BBT say, you know, and a de bia me say the argument of national team call-up and the encofo bebree ka say it must be based on merit, is overemphasized, because say a merit there, then obia the definition will come on board and say, oh, Yao Pedro, oh, deserve it, oh, undeserve it. But we all know, say, the call-up is sometimes and are largely based on coaching and a jumano, or in a technical team, or more discretion, or more decision. There's nothing more than that. I Ancelotti in the chair say, "Mbesa way ko walk up, mbesa way beko." No, there's no other definition to say on bibi so no fan fresh squad dabi. Any decision, any discussion, any doji say ohian or camp, any do ohian or camp. And see, sometimes when there is a national team call-up debate, then China and it must be done on merit. I always ask, what's the definition of merit? Anyhow, it is never there. And once a based on discussion in it, then everybody have the right to introduce or also the other strategic points to be or they introduce to
coach will play and
exactly. Me say the decisions and the discussion of coaches during collapse, it's me bar to favoritism. I favor this player than this. Coaching me or no as player we open as some chin way. Finito. There is nothing you can do about it. Norwich, Arsenal has really given themselves the final opportunity to win this year Premier League, and it is because Nhyira, they did the job against Burnley. Now, I think it was last 2 days, Sunday, when I'm I'm going to say Aquabia tweet say. In the last 2 games, never bought Premier League anymore. Arsenal won, Burnley 0. Bournemouth 0, Man City 40 goals.
Hey.
Then in the final game against Crystal Palace, Arsenal won. And as a Crystal Palace 0, Arsenal won. Then Man City 20, Aston Villa 0. Arsenal still wins the league. Yeah. The point the guy wanted to make here is he doesn't need Arsenal to be flamboyant and score 200 goals to win the league. Say Arsenal bet mine 1-0 against Burnley. In the last game, they win the league. And see, Arsenal really gave themselves the opportunity. Say at least they have a final game to play. Within some 90 minutes. So Mutimi winning game now. They are crowned champions. But before that, Arsenal could even win the league today. Say Enyoma could jiggle our Bournemouth against Manchester City. Arsenal could win the game today. And see, almost not this season, almost supporting Arsenal. Rich, they will not even want to wait for Sunday. Mekahumbi, Yenya no man didn't go and Yama City. Then Ochina, we can start celebrating Arsenal League.
Your own Pep Guardiola.
Yes. I think this season Arteta deserved to win the league than Pep. I think really in my heart said this season Arteta had a very good team, better than Pep Guardiola. And see, the job was done for Arsenal yesterday, and then it's CTC. Say if they still want to postpone at the end to the weekend, we are ready. But so man say na a car be free baby ball moto kwani mu dia. The celebration will start tonight. I know say Bournemouth will give them a very, very good game. Say over the rest of the fixtures now na aka for those two teams now. Bakupa a very, very kg for City and Umbabon and then you may against Bournemouth. And see how as our games, ABC Akko. And before I proceed, and I'm saying I don't announce my quotes or platform, so but and go for the boss who are me process course Nedia. Then they are like, oh, now one can't show no so. And I said, yes, I any time until the Ukomi socials now you find the course there. Now, Rich, this is my last submission on the forum. Me how I mean started to uncommon. Afei Chelsea fans na they had a problem with Chelsea. Went to with Enzo Maresca. Now eventually the coach had to leave in January. And time announcement in the bar said Pep is leaving and Maresca will be replacing him. How did they feel? Me say, Rich, the best examples are not far from us. The best examples are right within our same environment. And let me give you a classical example. Metia CCA. Me hear you mama in Nhyira FM multimedia. Rich. Semeko na me go catch your multimedia for. And that is what happened during Maresca time at Chelsea. October. Oko catch your Chelsea for say on City for representatives I could share Eddie Nkomo about possibly taking over City. Say Pep Guardiola Ekwa October. Then in mid-December, he went back to tell Chelsea BM say Osani City representative as on a possible job say Pep Guardiola Ekwa he will take over. Rich, if I go to Jimmy, now me go catch Jimmy say, oh, last month, many radio station A and Kofoku share. Say possibly make me akwakoye adwuma di ama wo mo. I say okay. Not this month. Me say akobiem. Me say akoya me say o. Me say the same radio station A. If I could do nkomo say, almost say I said they want to make some changes. Binto won't make changes now. They will come for me. Rich, in the ideal situation of multimedia, what do you think they will do?
Replacement.
They will start questioning your loyalty to Omo. And so Munyaya, now saying they can move on from you. They will move on from you as a company. That is exactly what Chelsea did with Enzo Maresca. They knew, look, Enzo Maresca had coached Man City under 21. Omu promoting to be assistants at the senior team under Pep. And Oyeduma institution in Pamo said Otitie and son all call Leicester City. The moment that almost as I say Omunya dream, we say, oh, Pep no beko. Especially when Tigilbergestan left. The right hand man no. Okoya Mudi who go Vienna buy the Pep was only buying time. So when Pep decided to tell them, so look, it is likely I will go. Into me catch mo starting yamo background check na mo pay me replacement you know. Now if in 2 meetings they meet Enzo Maresca, what Maresca is doing as the head coach of Chelsea is flirting with another team in the Premier League. And in a normal corporate environment, Obian's so sad and so. No matter how good you think you are, so if a company who say you no more have your loyalty with them, Rich, the best companies will do whatever it takes to move on from you. Oh, yeah, good said there. So go on, Robeko. And see, me assure so for a session of the Chelsea fans. And now when it became clear, say, oh, Pep will call Enzo Maresca will be coming, they will understand why Chelsea for the man go here. Because imagine, say, oh, Rich, Sanka Enzo Maresca ka Chelsea. Na onimoni team, say Pep will beko and okwa, or prefer the Man City job more than the Chelsea job. Nanka okoswa ni mpenyin for the ohono. Because onusa onam kwasa okonti. Na entokwa. No make cancel more press conference, no make cancel no throw penny phone under the bus. Anything and can see within Chelsea. And also maintaining internally, no. Now they are bad on because it's not diplomatic anymore. Because when you say you want to or quite give him in any case, Rich.
Oh no, you are Canadian.
No, you see.
Question
Friday Global Chrono, Gomo Elba Aston Villa, Nianata, so Nhyira, Aduma when on Nimini Pa, Abani Europe Pana Bano, a UEFA Europa Liga, and Unayamre, Ebetimaya, Jumani Pana, a Turkey, and a game no Munso Ebano, and a Tapra Stadium, and a game near to 43,500 seater capacity, and a Chessa Alpha, Santa Rafa, Namre, Obeko Dema Toyamno, I have France in the Bani, the other Francois, Letezia, Wadona Bako and Fezu Kemno, Etimaya Kama, and UEFA Europa League eto da final no enso ewe Istanbul na no pe no ye ka unkoba kakra edi amana winim sa Arsenal champions our Premier League them mama me Arsenal was squeeze this way Arsenal and yes had be tomo and to we the Gunners na what try was squeeze no so na yet made in command na jamu yet tenya Arsenal stories in the dominate team it's answer Arsenal wo no Managerial league no e de so mo na so wo mu ji bia teye pa and ya on tonam da no akoto brabo and ya braba he Arsenal eto manim na anya hwekwanom me pato emata once AFC pound for more and Man City Ebo 1-1 na sa game na tesa ma Arsenal ababe champions yi eno da Chelsea and so at Tottenham Hotspur Ebo montra me na Tottenham and so at mitimu ba ko na wo bi bisa points ben ana Arsenal ade league mpato to ho esanse record Arsenal ayem eno da asase City for ball mo game ni wie no table no say na City Arsenal at the 82 points and ade league the do so mo game and so Ebo game attend no better wo be the 82 points and adi league no wa bro mabo Monday 37 and the Arsenal company near City etoso me no with 78 na wa ba benya Manchester United wa botoso me with 68 we benya Aston Villa wa botoso 9 with 62 na wanya 59 points ekwa Liverpool boboko no wa ba benya Bournemouth wa mo so toso isia wa mo 56 points wa ba benya Brighton wa mo toso enso wa mo 53 and sana Chelsea etoso 20 eno Chelsea win ye nyina no mpato baby Chelsea dan no Anyama no anya de say call baby I know your reporter epa e wo dwumadi so na no pe no make kire enso ediama na Xabi Alonso kwabna reporter men say ka say wadi nkoma ka Chelsea payfo no say players bi ho mo ye untouchable and ye bi say players ben is about 5 players pe na me who player ba ku wom na no na ye mo wa ye pa kwabna nim say reporter ba ko pa madi nka ho untouchable players na e what else na eno na no pa wo ka say ente ye be hu say Kopama Edinsa wo Xabi Alonso ani ase kwabena me ye jedi esanse metikin kobo bi say yes 5 players Xabi Alonso so mo ye untouchable no James number 1 Makukuya ya 2 Moses Casado na player we play ma mo pa ya toss na de la bia yo kwabena mo se toss ne eka hom ana Enzo Fernandez enti we players yes so mo ye untouchable we toss boboko no amesa ebia Kopama mo de no be semi untouchable esanse mo de bibia timi se Nemom Gananto ana aya ya kan say boys na kan de liam de lab de kwabna on de me say oya touchable ne dia ne ya 3 times nti anu ya nkoba kakra mete from Chelsea na no pe no make it ediama na Enzo Fernandez one say this season goals when ya dia Chelsea ni goals involvement no aya 20 goals involvement esa say the goals na 14 and why 6 assists ediama Chelsea boboko no nti Abrante Enzo Fernandez this is Ediama ye kama Edima Chelsea and we in all competition Edima Chelsea bobo kwanani a reporter mensa eka na no pe no make it Ediama na with him say Premier League no since Premier League abakosem esase no player way ano wa bakosem obi anya bita and no aye Arsenal player ni din ade Max Dorman kwabra Max Dorman the youngest ever player in the Premier League history at all the Premier League adiasi na so and also the Premier League title at the age of 16 139 days anatasa Brante no e dey record nti so wonam abante so no bia bi so say player ben no sa awade Premier League ampacho Arsenal player ni din ade Max Dorman enom reporter free Arsenal kati ade apa dwumade so na Arsenal say ni debate no supporters ne say amesanka de yenyanka ane bi so mo sa de no so say sia de PFA player of the season no ya hu ba bia say kwa na ya say the assembly na ba anom so say Declan Rice and Bruno Fernandes obumie no na ohwe obi credentials ekwa na betimi amana de PFA player of the season na Declan Rice dia no uhema ono the heartbeat of the Arsenal Bedi League ni nyina no woni na ejina no ne so essence ono ne antina asa enso ekra match after match nyina no ne delivery bibia ya kaba we key player Arsenal Boboko no and a world class performance and odema Arsenal week in week out and to omu feel say odi PFA player of the month na nyahwe na omo say Bruno Fernandes jano uchema wa iko assist recorder e was single Premier League season mo atase enu so say no aniama ya kama edemano afa kwampo hema or the Manchester United aba beto so miensa e Premier League man nei wo ma qualify e bo UEFA Champions League kwabra Arsenal supporters so hwe ni mienu abako ekura bibi baako de onkura hwe enti ano say ma PFM player of the season na esa ko edema Declan Rice anom e nkoma kakwa so a mensa e kan e wo dwumade so a na no pay me kete ediama na kopa ma ba bekasa kopa ma nie Palmer say yanka mo bianta say Zabi Alonso a top notch coach muntie Zabi Alonso a top notch coach akwai na nanse anu a e ba nyina ya ba bekasa onka e players o mo so mo top notch no ho a o mo untouchable no but kopa ma say Zabi Alonso a top notch coach na oya world class coach a wo betimi ni na ya adwuma na o se afina coach na ba na coach bia ba ho fra player bia pese onya the good books of a coach no enti wo mo aye Chelsea dia ene no wo mo ese opanya ni tin edi Zabi Alonso betimi ase adwuma na se na o metuma ya kama ene ya reporter mensaka e wo adwuma dia so na no pa mi ketre edi ama na nwa sembia si me pa to coach ani di na de tonda aye escat wa hwe ni ya na tese ekwakoye tonga na tonda escat kwa bra wonim se Southampton nanka womo Champions playoff ebo with Hull City ananka be mo makwanya na omaba bebo Premier League ne bi na yase sa omakwa wia ama asema ba wia be na akwa ba enkrofo ne se sa matches bi wo ha kwa na mo ko spy opponent no ene se omo de kamera ko bo ho se ne omo ye de omo so ma spy na ano na asem ne ba beto dwa Spagate for scandal yi enya ba ya ne yase Southampton eho ebo mum afem pay for transfer kokko hwe ya yase abo Southampton ana no adam wo mo toilet e de koma Southampton bobo ko ne se so mo head coach and dey Tonda Escat anya ja tum se 4 clubs almost amo enso no etimi aspire o mo dia and championship A playoff no wo must pay o mo anya dia so betimi amo ma wura mu biem afenso kwa no ma suspension and o ma san chomo point amate se bia komo ma se next season je se championship no kran pass ya and also point deduction ebeko e de tom na ano na efere se sa ba no mo dia ma mo no sisi no team and team at the Middlesbrough o mo na ya mo kwan se wo mo Hull City ankonkobo kwabra no da reporter mensaka aye se eno Southampton bobo ko no edina so san ye appeal and to mo reze sa appeal no timi eko e de mo dia na tese ene sa aye the final na so mo playoff final no with Hull City no wo menya bo anya sa padia and Middlesbrough bobo ko no ano metima bo sa game na eno ye reporter eba e wo dwumade so na no pa mi ketre e di ama na menko Christian Chivo gwano na aye head coach Adama Inter Melano bobo ko na no pay reporter mensaka aye say Inter for say aduma no papa ne betumi ayo esan say waboa amoma ti league ni di omuni hwe say so mo contract extension and so Adama Christian Chivo wo mo tell a 2 years contract and tell so mo kika dia gumu wo 1 year aye optional atasa ne till 2029 and to be etimi wie pay dia and Christian Chivo wo better till 2029 and so Adama Inter association Melano bobo ko na wo mo so awo Italia and now no pay me kete ediamana anasafo yeso madi nkomo se womanya Pep Guardiola o mope enti Pep Guardiola what say Guardiola season ni ba na wie ya wonya head coach and pharmacy no kwabna reporter mensaka ayasa yase Cristiano Ronaldo ni timna anasa ana mo tell say womanya Pep Guardiola $150 million per a year ana mo de ma papa no mo na mete ene years do bi obesa no enyo masem sikandi ata ho ade say Pep Guardiola be de penny na fenso anasa wakwa ya dwuma na diama ne reporter mensa eka o dwumade so na no pay no me pretere adama asada at ma menkomanim kakwe na yeni nkobo Arsenal bobo ko no reporter mensa ka ne yesi Arsenal for say so matima the league ni dia anya me say Mikel Arteta UEFA Champions League no Arsenal for so manya didie so pay ni betumi ante esan say wo mo say Arteta ekika se wo special planner wo betumi dia bo PH game no and Arsenal for the shadow ma mo so full support wo mo adi ma Mikel Arteta wo fa sa planner konkobo tiba the din adi PH na fe UEFA Champions League no wo mo nti enfenso mo na so and your reporter mensaka e we dwumade so na no pay me di bi adi dana mo screen no so kwabna eno Anopeya, Yasi Arsenal for any omuntem. Players no ahomate ane so obi dwade ye kwabra no nsia mo no mo ewo omo emleto omo nyina ba omba bejo mani ene efe kwa de bi wan se wiam ntete ewiem kura nya ntete mo de mo matwani ye ewo YouTube no me se de ameka mu beti ase ye pa matwani ya ene nkane na esususu egongo ade nya ntete asa supporters na dwade abo powder etutu spray tete wo mo so mo ba be celebrate eja bosuma hundanda na eja yenyama ndamba kwene so wasande fufuo kra de man de no wakunu kra enti Arsenal players ni ne wo munyina apani je no wotumi se kama enso edema Arsenal eno ye reporter na no pe no meketre ediama o ewo dwumade so na yentwe ne kakra na eja yenku ye ni me na eno na Bukayo Saka enso akasa na Bukayo Saka video we de eno anwumene na omuponkem na ana Bukayo Saka kasa asebwe Bukayo Saka se Wanama na manfa do mun say tretre so team na omun ji league da omun ji bia tete afa na omun epe bia de 22 years ni ana oguso wusi aka ndi amomo ene team papa oho wo ma mesi aka wase isi no wo bia ntimi mfa ne nsantena asena so biem ana obi ntimi nka say asena ji league ate ana asena mobra pato Bukayo Saka say wo bia ntimi nya sa de ni bebe sansa miracle no ade no enya happen ade ni kwanse na nyasi wo magant league no e de so mna so ene ye Bukayo Saka koma kakra abrantan di tuja na mo papa we de wotimi say no mfili okay kra Abraham was Christian so ezabi ya can say you Tottenham head coach team wotimi say ade no aye timpa e de amano amata say Roberto Di Zabi hwesan kanema ebetima ko so na no do mu kokolu su ye na muntie de ohwe reporter men say ka say after Chelsea say Roberto Di Zabi any team no say koba say West Ham United obu game a kobo say West Ham United etimi win sekim ana say ebia say Tottenham Hotspur wo musu game a ombekwa koba no wo mulu so akwabena ene na tese relegation na no mokono and you say Tottenham pay omo bo nyina ya say West Ham United omu game na do manim no eni kwa say West Ham enso etimi awene na face Tottenham omo next game no say we so no ekwa edema mani ya reporter mensa eka ewo dwumade so na Arsenal sam no meba so bet mam yo se Mourinho na mini Mourinho ho nkoba kakra abusia yesi yo se Mourinho ne time oba first time Madrid no adwuma no ya any players or sensan ye edema mo Rafael Varane Fabio contra wo mo ene Messi Ozil Angel Di Maria ene Luka Modric ma oba ya mo sensan no yesi Madrid forward gidi se yo se Mourinho ba sadia na wo ye ata se team na ejiro mo na so no me se yo se betimi abo mo manya notable players bia na o sensan mo a ebetimi abo Madrid boboko no ene reporter men sakana anu ne yase Jose Mourinho akata made de se wo mun ko Sporting CP wo mun ko Portugal na wo mun ko CP wo mun player ni team ade Martin Holman enfa ne mra na akoda no wono nimbo boye po Denmark ni ba bo no ni po na so wo ko fa Martin Holman ade ne ba wo so be bo ma midfield ho ene man so e kama ade ama Madrid bobo ko no enti afina Real Madrid anso edit niema atunse ne yene na fe wo mun so so metimenya akoda na waba be boma no ya update amensaka na mame pogotole na mindi nkoba kakra but pogotole akasa na gotole say wo dina city fo nyina anamu na all the congratulations kase pa adiama Arsenal boboko no ene Mikel Arteta ene the players ni nyina say wo metima de Premier League ni de so na so na in fact a long run ana so munso ekoye but at long last no ade na ko de ama Arsenal boboko na enya fi na oba beka se bebre de okam enya ya se obo Arsenal team na ba so Arsenal team na ya duma ye pa na ano na obi ase se akoba ne sade a anka ba so bode na anka se Arsenal ade ma junior groupie esan se bem of player na ne de junior group no one way aduma ni nyina sakoda we na kosa ba ko bem of goal na wo munya ya na city bra ya ansa no mote saka no sanka nye se ni goal no say ya anka bia league enya sam se ni esika no anya kan anka down to the wire e bia last game no and be decide say bia city one beja na sa Arsenal betimi adem be junior groupie ata say oboy o say goal no ana ama sisi no team and dey Arsenal ade Premier League ni dey say o na so ano na manfo zo anka be ya anka Arsenal for kuda we di anfanka wo mo squad list no players on beje meda no dia na nko the junior group dia e dia bra na sense ona aboa ama Arsenal tumi ade league no e dia so na so na report amenseka na 22 years dia Arsenal supporters ehun league trophy da na monkongo he anajodo players no and so ejo many what dressing room no me pato supporters ni so omode omo nada ene be he omo nyina na abonteku ene Emirates etire o nyina supporters no ade je na nyeise chance ya bo World Cup na ebia ya stage ayasa ya cancer dia ye di si abonten a wo bia nso ehebi na ene amakoye yes because the same thing ana chance oba ye better ene anu a game no mo bona nya Arsenal for game ene ye Bournemouth any city na bo better yes Arsenal supporters no ene giant screen pa ana kwabna yes o manto mantwa ana ma group no mo he wo bia he de we ene ma no besi akọ enti junior group ade bo no to atema yes Arsenal supporters ni nyina ene o beti go hey na wo bi bo ni game na support hi sa no adam ba be ka tam say Mikel Arteta ase wo ya number 1 stand supporter adi ma AFC Bournemouth ni Andoni Ariola enti eno ada e wo Emirates ho Arsenal supporters na ni die no na anya sam goto akra wo mo so mo kwada anopai ene mi pai wo mo so aba na yenko Arsenal dressing room here na sa Arsenal eno akwabra mando ampa Mikel Arteta sam no ka say ehun de ma players ni entertainment na no wo mo so ehwe wo dressing room ho Arsenal players ni na wo mo nyina wo dressing room ho ana chance wo mo nyina atame ene de ode na pempem ho be pempem transit game no metime enso western ene o mo twanya final western no e ba ya be pe ne Arsenal players him celebrations anya sam go to akra entim anu ye the Ghanaians no eni je ne de no pay my mama ba so man ya de pa hey delaria tiase ene ne yenya so crowd dela ene dela ya mo ba so congratulations ene ma aye kama enso adiama na kwabna he Arsenal fan ba ko was any pa ko na ni gino pa no Gabriel Magalhaes enti wakwakoto rollers what ne bo asum 20,000 euros 20,000 euros ana kwabna wadi abase wadi mambe Gabriel Magalhaes so wonte 114 team ni sakeke Gabriel Magalhaes fair no so dabi wonte me nyesa atade we emfa free player no because wo me na eso mo ye bibi edema president na supporters dabi dia maye wo dia didi beta kwabna reporter mensaka se Gabriel Magalhaes anya de se wadi enso edc enso ne kan me reporter mensa eka ewo dwumade so na pagoto la no adansa ntwofo ekobisa se yatete se Enzo Maresca ana ba be je adwuma no benya kwana ana so yan kan to bia se 1 year ewo the contract no so obewie edi dia papa de kan no ba o ya den akwana de obenya ko na World Cup no eba kwabna da be ne yebo game no Ghana ni Mexico no Saturday ya ne yebo game no okay dek ayi ya kan se covid apa man face the pines one say na wepra reporter men say kai say one here won't be in World Cup ni bi no ye the man face the pines so mete free na catch ya anopai ye di nyina ade asia ni a ye de bronti ma ye nyina we su na yemfa Arsenal won sam ni nyina mfansia eja wo mo no ma league ye ye de ya mobra sisi akra ne de aye de nkra de ama ye se bia eja Champions League ye mu bi Europa League eno so ho aye den o nim say ye win ye last game no na ayi Brighton for WJ dia ye bebo Europa League ti say ye mpa ye nyina no say Brighton for ebe so mo yin na che say ya ba be so na ya bo Europa anya sa dia bia conference na
okay
and dia you
mo ko bona mo nye ese ho na
de ho de ne no
we into 22 years of waiting finally it's over
si almost ya kamo
yay
muti bia te papa
as is we
coach so dia na me say 2012 ana
we coach is ya team si fefe Xabi Alonso
yanka Xabi Alonso ade me kamo mo de
so we can that season na me che say so me coach is na next season unu abehia o na efo
Mike Carey behia o na
obabuo na this is Reviana wabuo bia o this is in Karikabu bia inti Xabi Alonso no ne Enzo Maresca no ne ade o so mo de you don't beton proper position anti anope Arsenal fans ni na ane mo mabaso biankasa me boss Brad kan bodu Denali atiase me boss onon so yamona baso na Arsenal fans ni na ye mo omo abaso enano pay in fact
if you do ma de nipa ba ko pe the lape na ya Arsenal fan
no
man account ono ko
a brand the crowd say oh nana ya yeah Nhyira Jima yes ono nso eye
nipa be by go nyina Arsenal supporters e two pe engrofu yi
mo am dos mo je dey but akwaseme tisa na wo ka Rapio Jesse ne ho asem
yeah
me samo Rapio Jesse am see a cheche mo am sense su bim criteria no eye simple mo mo pesa da no munya bibi di kofie no criteria no and say oh ba o show Arsenal Jesse me patcho tienie the criteria is that oh ba insure from Rapio Jesse no also share Jesse and can Arsenal fans and a PSG fans on say you for Champions League final no you be live commentary no e free AG mo ha edna Rapio Jesse no so ba koso kama and into oh ba say the medical can no na wa show Jesse because you be chen ya bebre nasco for downmenti amede niema bebre abasa Richard Munche ema obia edano nyame ya adoma memenda ebe ni na wotwe me patcho this coming Saturday and week edna LG mo haya Rapio Jesse no yede ebe hihye so na niema nasco ede abasa ye nche no ebi a flat screen TV enti ebi kura na TV asay open flat screen TV dia kobo dem a nasco adornment no adano a Rapio Jesse say hewa ne hena o Jesse no ho keka no bibia concrete mi fro na yama TV ni safa ko board them ya be smartphones Samsung exclusive souvenirs and a branded air giveaways na ya be surprise gifts and the mudi so edano ya bie ni only shin kama na se bibia no kama edi amobi anti ya tuensa edi fro bia show Jesse na efabra LG more memenda ebe na otwe edano sa ya UEFA Champions League final na indina anya bibia kama eman emum ye na nasko so ma yade pa in fact anopay me baba hwe niema hodo a nasko diaba se mfancha santema in fact efe kra keke intino come with your Jesse, Rapio Jesse, rub your club, rub your passion na se bibia no enkoye enso emfa emau ene anopay na me enkom the Moses Clinic and Herbal Center etem for the etene Medimosis omna de adra ya tuni de Prostacure X capsules any Prostacure tea no ade aba ye gaso bu on medura na adwa wona wo sole ane so sorry because wadunso odunso brepa koto aye Prostacure X ni bi nda enom anye de aye digi Moses Afro Moses ana aye Mediplus air capsules no ya kanini na ade aboma ye de aba na say draw dia bema bia tie bema bia edu anwumna na wo tetetete because you kofi okodi nsenhu ne say edu anwumna nkofo bo adwuma wo mpaso yi wo de kasa tenten ni nkomu what is ana de ache so onya he me patcho bema bia what's our problem no we de a fire day in back numbi na bo adwuma style bia bi ene de Medimosis garlic capsules adiaba we the garlic na ye na wrentininim bientininim amomo jani timi koba kama e reduce air pressure so cholesterol no se cholesterol ni na no e be na kama amamo so na atuase adi amawo na ye no nyina me kase e wodwaso wonya bi na no ma e betimi aboa ye pa okodani heba emrom Colinac our Ashtown and a Fredimens our KO honina no ye de no ni bebre adi egu ha onsa e betimi akabi clinic ne so okwa yade bia ha bia ye be show na honso no etimi ato ye wo ahenema kokoben off Obuasi Santasi Road 0547 405 455 ano eye number obetimi ane eye Medimosis empany fonso no adi eye nkomo afa the new Bigo energy drink so ka Bigo omo drink no de buy no at the papa so na say the latest petroleum omo de aba eye dwaso at the new Bigo energy drink me patcho kotobi na onso no mese energy no awode na sasa den we na has a miracle no so we has a a special intervention and you really pedianim almost energy no double now the boardma it is so is that the energy drink the latest or market no a big energy drink to be nanom na adanse no nso di bi na bibia no enye kama pa emfa emmaw ene anopei sanso ene dia asana de bi edema eye sun cablo makacho say efiewura bia titiu ene electrician ene pa electrician ye befro na bi bisa sakrache na o cables ben na o de eye wiring edema efiewura fo no na wa ma sun cablo ese ye chew mimi say me ben wa memi a chew isan say onya electrician papa so he said the Ghana nina ya jatum Ghana Standards Authority Energy Commission na jatum se Ghana ni bia usidan na wo ya manye san cable omo cables no no ene se o de wire dan no china pimpim a de asidan na nkohye cables dada na nye me ka no kra kire wo nti heat no kan sa na ekikabum echina na akofa edahye e de aba no ba yi say san cable adornment edahye nyina no away ye the switches aba ye the multi lamp holders e de aba flexible cables ni nyina and afi PVC pipes yakofa bi enso de aba kokumase adum sisi also per PowerPoint electricals na onso to mo niema no ebi 0534 800 832 San Cablo Lightning Africa na se bibia akoye e de ma computer ho adesua edna so be ha yidi hu komo bebre na computer de adesua no emfaso bebre ena ewoso ene wasua de sa den ene certificate ekuta mu odupa nenso se eba no computing na on take box na wan hwe wa adesua osua nyina adwuma sam be den adiama ene ewiase ko global so ene nti nso ha no down ene ko bi kura se e friend tilapia nti to o ye den me so nso sesa ho sua computer ho nimde na ene nso ntimi ma courses bebre ena uniat practical institute eye eba software engineering computer hardware and mobile phone technician sanso na AI ni nyina kire bi ho data analytics network and cyber security engineering CCTV installation and management kusua we ni bebre ka ho na onso pass out omo de me ka no kra kire ho me say omo students opa the whole Ghana omo te classroom esua de no na companies aba promise omo no be adwuma because omo ye trusted institution eba no computing entiko na so kosua bi na bibia nya kama emfama ye sesanso ya si kumase sesanso bar stop usi ya no friend number 0555 383848 na munomo edi eye enkomo afei amanse Rural Bank PLC bank bebre ene wo kurum ha nanso de me kwabna Richardo me de me stamp esiso na madwo matum se ampa banga o se Ghana ni bia nkenkane asantemantemu a ono mo ye adwuma eye amanse Rural Bank PLC bi account wo ho savings wo ho current account susu account and a fixed deposit account emu bia obetimi akwa bie na adentina me se kona no mo nkoye adwuma simple your bank bi yo hodoma onom na ye adwuma na so so ho akire pa na wo pesika kofa we bra kofa o light bill 3 months de chesen eniema nwonwona na de ana mianse udini nyina kwa wa kire chensem nyina wie no so we are sorry yentimi fa be sana ma amanse nya kasa tenten enya kofa we bra kasa ehona 24 hours na ya approve aye loan no ediama besia me kasa yi wadwuma kwa na ekofom upesika de awura adwuma nim na nka adwuma na sa apega bra ye be ma besia na onso de awura adwuma nim bibia be kama edi amount so o ye salary we kabra ye be ma salary advance samso na we kuani upesika ye kua eye na abafie esu bebrebe ni nyina eyesikantia mo magiska mo mfa nkwa ye ni mu wie ya na de akoto boko ekiredi eba na amafo banking ya ye bi ATM card ye be ma bi sanso na we ATM card ni free ho a sisika free abrochire na eba ria Western Union na honso dia fa ho na se bibia akonkan enso e de amount 0247 200013 0247 200013 once the branches there bebre asantemantem ha akokan nom sansona ahodo atenga junction oko Roma here Kote station or sansona Santa so poko school mo so fly new transport terminal o na monko ho na monomo enkoye adwuma anopai amo ene afufu bi ka ho nana p phones and accessories etiefo nana p dia metom so anama sorry omo buy home appliances for papa senepa yebeba dem na tv mo ho adan a menye sika nkutobi ebra nana p wo ho a otam sika kitu abi abenya tv kama e dia board dem a near fair fridge papa bi open air condition so ho board me say yes air con ebo ensan light and power kra into kota only problem washing machine kanene sisa niemaguo esi abewie na ansa chi nyina ya basa me patcho kota machine washing machine fo for free nana p phones and accessories na phones so there ha so ti di no wa ho de phone de okwa de babo Samsung fu bia pe bia o de okwa na usika ne nso a ka kire o so awo ba half o de dinka kobusabo no na be pe half o pe half ni wi a fa Ghana card ka ho we are for na catchum say payment plan no amoma 3 months to 12 months ni bi and let's say unso fetua ne kakra no ado phone de ko utua half na ado phone fa ko na de aka ni tua no bosumi bia na bibia enkoye enso emfa emau ene anopai ene ma bebre ene eton me kasa me bo a yenwie ne ntu de wuram adum ha ya Kumasi adum ho ena yewo first one asida house on Academy Media ya obi ba JK bodenim awo adum ena PZ na kwesi agema bodenim o enkanfo no mon komadina Zongo Junction tamale eye aboabo station 0533093422 anopai omo ana aso yasena yede the midweek edition of Insta digital passport jumedi no edi mamo ene anopai Fifi Manfred,
which is Smith Donkor.
Kofi Alonso. Patron, how to say?
Kwabna Karek. Now, uni North London forever. We are here together. Mr. Bomo Stanford. You need to get
copywriting on.
No, I don't copywriting him.
Sir.
Yes, I question about Basuna for anthem, Chelsea anthem. There's no copyright.
So, I don't know where now can Martin
22 years old.
Of waiting.
Club na bre. So you need to play for them. I say, oh, sound a mute or one.
A mute, and you're fat to no.
It's to every Arsenal folk, every Ghana, Nanaya Ojima, Delalia Tiase. I'm talking about those I used to talk about consistently about Arsenal. Nano Peoma Fremi in the last 2 or 3 years when we used to talk. I'll mention Austin Wood, Dean, when we used to talk about Arsenal before. I would mention Minia, Coach Abdul Pomasi, Dean. I mean, all the Arsenal fans. Of course, every other person will support Arsenal, Rich.
Minister of Communications, I'm just also asking it, right?
I don't have a personal connection. I can't really tell how they are feeling. But we say also, even the General Secretary of the NPP, what's his name? Justin Frimpong Kodia Esquire also showed that he was Sames Munina, Bright Kankambo, all of these big human beings that are fans of Arsenal. Congratulations to Munina. But and also more so, Rich, the team in Arsenal fans those that consistently not be mobile year after year, worrying if Arsenal were ever going to win a title. Congratulations to Munina, Rich. You see, Sana only bad and for an hour year and nearby. Now you're football fan, they don't quite understand. Sometimes I wonder how journalists, sports analysts, sports journalists, are very passionate about football. No? How the women deal with us, whether nearby or mommy, they don't understand. Now, even the Arsenal fan of Arsenal Assem, where the Arsenal reach this generation, this is the rebirth of Arsenal as a club. 22 years. It means that, and it will be already 30 years. No, the last time Arsenal J Trophy or J English Premier League, no, the 80 years. Yes, you're saying anywhere. Obia and net were the 40 years. Saturn were the 18 years. So it's a new generation of Arsenal fans. Gen Z follow me Arsenal fan. That's the very first time. What it means to win the English Premier League as an Arsenal fan. So a big time. And Rich, so should maybe an Arsenal feedback as a club. The kind of things they've gone through. And it encompasses post Arsene Wenger. Baby and Arsene Wenger, Eddie Omonam as a club now, they were getting success then post Wenger, things have not gone on well for them from Unai Emery up until Mikel Arteta. I think that the story has to be told. Rich, now, with the Arsenal story, it's the fact that Yaya Patomi doesn't get that medal. And he was the part of the building blocks himself, Granit Xhaka, Zinchenko, all of these players that started with Arsenal, and they are not there. For Xhaka, I know they were going to be excited for them. Partey would have loved to win the Arsenal for the English Premier League trophy. But then it has not happened like that for him. Ushobi to say Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz came from Leverkusen to Chelsea in hopes that Chelsea in a bit man is success no. Chelsea man the Champions League, but they couldn't give him the English Premier League. Mikel Arteta and any Arsenal have given that to him. The boys like Bukayo Saka, Max Daumann, Miles Lewis-Kelly, the boys that were from the Arsenal colony training ground and from the Arsenal Academy, in hope that they were going to see their club win it. No, they didn't just see their club win it. Omwankasa have won it for their club. And when I'm not sure say who the videos of Ebrechi Eze, Bukayo Saka, when they said that 22 years, people laughed at us and called us the butlers. Oh. And that is the state of Arsenal. A club that was described a joke. They've gone through the mill, changed things, rechanged, and that is where they are. Arsenal for one, they have to celebrate. I've said it several times. We're a football fan, that's our trophy. No matter how small the trophy is. My opponent club be and now opponent be me can't show say what you want to do that. No, celebrate as much as
22 years.
Yes, it's a long time.
Even when it was glaring.
Yes, it's
Arsenal League. Yes. It's still now for doubt.
It's a long time coming for Arsenal Football Club. Mikel Arteta and Nemanti and Divigan. Eric, sometimes it takes. I think in the state of Arsenal, it took 2 men. But again, that manner on Mikel Arteta starts here, the sleepless nights now. He changed and moved to Nottingham Forest. Maybe not up a bigger challenge, but maybe for money, maybe for whatever the case was. But Edu is not there. Edu Noni Mikel Arteta started some more building the Arsenal team. And then they put all the pieces together. Had a solid Arsenal team that should have been able to win the league even 2 years ago, even a year ago, even 3 years ago. They have been waiting. Back close, no more Lucio, back close, no more the second. Hoping that the night could come. And now, it was delivered to them. Narrating him, there is an interesting story of how Arsenal won the league and now. So, one time, I think about a couple of months ago, now me share me pay a lot of documentaries. I hardly watch movies. Now me share documentaries. So in one of those Premier League documentaries on football, they did a documentary on Spanish coaches are almost English Premier League. But coincidentally, na that time no, ye coaches are almost free the Andolithia region, the Basque region. So there was Mikel Arteta in there, there was Andoni Areola in there was Julian Lopetegui in there, and then there was a Brentford Aston Villa, Unai Emery. As 4 coaches that are Spanish background, but also have a Basque origin. Now, I'm profiling coaches. Andoni at the time used to speak highly of Mikel Arteta. Say when they saw what Arteta could do, even as assistant managers, they were excited. And the boys from that area, Sociedad, Athletic Club, it's about dominating football, not just in Spain, not just in Basque, but also all over Europe. And on a night where Arsenal won the league, Mikel Arteta lead winning league, it was a Basque manager that stopped Josep Guardiola. It was Andoni Areola in the dugout for Bournemouth, and stopping Josep Guardiola from trying to take it to the last day of the season for Mikel Arteta and in the side. So it tells you sometimes how things connect. After a game, Andoni Areola said, "Onim se ne eye den Arsenal beji." Onim say even if it was the last day Arsenal beji, he didn't play any part, of course, trying to be modest. But then again, congratulations to Mikel. Which maybe it's time also for people to learn. Yeah, Mikel has gone through the mill and the fire. When you say Neubiankai, you remember when Mikel came, the first season of the 8th, and even Arsenal fans said so. And I always recount the story of Meneme Boss the Lali Atiase. And sometimes it's normal because all your fan not a results name, but you get frustrated. And Arsenal fans have gone through all of those moments back to back. At
the point where places second.
To the extent that Arsenal fans say, nah, Mikel Arteta is a nearly man on TV and permanent for coach Papambra. But Rich, a Juma Bakwa, Mikel Arteta ayo Arsenal. For me, it goes underrated. I think one of the things I've learned from Mikel Arteta in the team is one. If a club is going through very tough moments, you need a very charismatic manager. Rich, before the taxes, before every other thing, your aura, your personality, the things you stand for, it is so important in clubs like Arsenal if you want to turn things around. Mikel, the very first time that he did the Believe video for Arsenal after the end of the first season, telling Arsenal fans that it's just a matter of time, things are going to be well for them. And they started to build from there. Which Mikel has been charismatic, has been bold, has been confident. To the extent that Torebia, now Kokushia media, they sort of belittled him. They sort of talked down Arsenal. But it is the belief. And sometimes, as a team, as a fan base, as a club, we hear that from a coach. We hear that from the one man that is there. Again, the backroom staff of Mikel Arteta has been superb. Look at the role of Nicolas Jove as a set-piece coach. The record that they've set in terms of number of goals they scored from set plays and defended from set plays. It got to a time where, the likes of Carlos Cuesta were all there. Now Carlos Cuesta is with Parma. He's not part of Mikel Arteta's backroom staff. But then, as the youngest assistant coach in Europe and in the top 5 leagues of Europe, Cuesta was so important for them until he left to become the coach of Parma or Italian Serie A. So, all of these things Mikel Arteta and any team have been able to do in building a team. One of the traits of Mikel Arteta, Rich, I thought be a young has also been the squad building ability of Mikel Arteta. And I always go back. Abraham Mikel Arteta built this Arsenal squad, certain decisions were always questioned. But so watch Arsenal team now, Rich. It has not been only about ability of the players. It has not just been about player we bet me a bobo no, player wins me bobo no, player we a good winger, but also attitude and making sure he sets the culture of Arsenal Football Club in making sure that things go on well for them. For me, the culture was very important. Ura club be saying to say Arsenal, the first thing you have to do is to change your mentality, change your culture, and then a club stand for. How will the club begin? How will players begin to believe and then accept say it's important for them to change how they think from just competitors to winners and to a team a very, very good story in terms of how they want to go in and get things. And then it started from changing the culture. One of the things that happened along the way was the story of Abrantia your friend Granit Xhaka. So Bekaya, maybe Arsenal fans no boo Granit Xhaka off the pitch. And boo Granit Xhaka so free park so Granit Xhaka AP and ye the captain's armband on the ball from. After that, Arsenal for no strip a brand your friend Granit Xhaka of the captaincy. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
and those are the things that you use to set the standards for a club for them to win. Finding that the fans are very important for them and then always going there. Which under Mikel Arteta, were turning Arsenal into a fortress. The story of the North London Forever anthem and the Arsenal football match, and now they sing it like the way the Liverpoolians sing the "You Never Walk Alone." It wasn't something that they used to do as much or even with that pride. When Mikel Arteta came in, he had told the team, say, any of my fans, say, they should sing it, they should play it before games start every time. Because it gives them that atmosphere of belief and togetherness. Anyone they say, "Oh, meet me akoji." Sometimes it's the little things. Sometimes the Newman Kitting even the fan doesn't see. Newman Kitting even the various players don't see. And for 3 consecutive seasons, the team has so far. Mikel Arteta inherited a very much broken squad. The squad was broken from head to toe. He literally turned it, flipped it, and then got a team. It is willing to go onto the market and compete with everybody. And in Rich, there are only a few clubs. And I'll catch any match or down. Not just in England, but when you go everywhere in Europe, France, Paris Saint-Germain, World UEFA Champions League final. Arsenal and Kuwait, they are Gichi. Last season, Oshe Madrid home and away in the Champions League won a 3-0 with the Santiago Bernabeu. It's the confidence, it's the aura, it's the fact that the team has come there. And I think that when teams get that, for me, my job is to tell that story. Regardless of your opponent and also supporting different club, tell it as nice as you can tell and then let the fans enjoy it. For every Arsenal fan, Rich, they should not stop. They should not stop. And I don't think that today should be dedicated to any other thing than Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Okay. Say Thomas Day Party, and Timiamba, and can listen. And then bought the list of. I mean, sometimes, maybe it's not meant to happen, but sometimes life also happens, Rich. Baby, but. But that is the story of Thomas Day Party and the Arsenal team. Rich. I don't know, but when I'm so confused.
I mean, my question be person. Don't mean you say a celebrity Arsenal idea, but and now so game now Bournemouth in the Man City. No, there's this school of thought. I feel say the news of Pep Guardiola no. To some extent affected the players on the football play.
Which
and to me, I think me 32 almost no more can.
Okay.
Because who's our 7 as an Pep management net in command as in the owners of the club. What catch them season you but you ain't keeping us a secret. Because season you are 2 matches. Some can at the end of carbon this year. Players, you know, say, I mean, because I didn't catch them, say, I'll stay. It is a players need to say, I'm going. I say, on a football plane, I've been baby play. And I think Enra, it played out.
Rich, whether is he, for me, anybody that says that, oh, yeah, your mommy, you know, and I don't know if that's what you are doing, but whether it happened last night and I say over the weekend, Arsenal were going to win the league.
Sure.
Again, one thing here. You underrate the performance of Bournemouth. Rich, Bournemouth have gone 2 to 4 months unbeaten in Premier League.
Okay.
The job Andoni Areola has done there, unless you don't want to give him credit. And now look at the sequence of play leading up to Junior Krupi's goal. And look at the goal. Look at the goal that Junior Krupi at the Mao. It is solid play from goalkeeper in the post and all of that. Rich, and again. Andoni Areola as a manager has lost important players on the team in him, but it still built that squad. The players of Manchester City, Rich, 90%, 80% of them knew and they know. Say, Pep Guardiola ever be free club and Pep was going to go. So the story of Pep leaving the club was not an issue. It was not new. And yet Pep free club ni ma ye can and run a Joes and nature and Jono. and then Amanako. That is not the case, at all. For me, congratulations to Arsenal. Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur 2-1, which is good for them. Now the focus is going to be at the end of the season when Xabi Alonso comes in. Players be at Chelsea for some day. When we are done celebrating Arsenal,
of course,
we'll delve into detail. And Rich, and boys, someone mucha code Nibino. It was a good night for them. I think about 32 votes. I couldn't post it now. All of the social media handles are in there. The codes are ready. Now, you could be in pick it.
Okay, Kofi, and so yeah, that's the end to Medina. So, and for Richard Bekai, minimum Udini, and Bekai. I think Arsenal should go in for Bournemouth goal scorer, Junior Creepy. He's very good. Okay, I don't know. Of course, maybe if you say around 10 Arsenal league in T. So Arsenal crown, of course. But goal scoring no more problem there. I'm granted no. Junior Creepy, Arsenal consider na Amonkofano and from and now Arsenal fan my message. But my message. I will show so so Arsenal fan. Now also celebrate a team because and show in the no for Arsenal. Enti I want some no I don't know. Edna edi amamo ewo djumedie so mi ankasa mi bra pani bra chance o Arsenal wo se Arsenal nkuyi na o ko Liverpool ya Arsenal kwa league na dey see omo announce cement fighter heba misha mpanifo atenase edo na o street ni so a obi abo ni din agan ye be di hunkomo etimi edi amao Openi, good morning.
Good morning, Chadu.
Patron, I want to say,
Obade Adaroma, Biaboko,
Edanyamiasti. A guide here, Dupa,
sir.
Until no be a jatu. It's in your dance and a ma afufro. No Muzuko Dunibi.
Yo, Richard Meda CP said the Bia Mumete and some of course was possible. Namishramo. Na a tear for Sue Damusumasi. Yes, Musunyamishramo Sonko Quans cry because. Mona yenre moto na mo se dia dance ma afoforo so tobie ti da bia betna na yeshira mo pa esan se moto yenro ni ti enam so ama enro ni bi so asa abeka ho a enche kra ebehu enu so odwa so na de tiri se paperworks ni ade nyina ya ye ni nyina awie aka production a ebe sha ase na eno so abedwa so de dikan agan prekese garlic mixture eno so abedwa so a ebeboa wona said Debia so makuma no a bon ten and say said the nakuma ni si bono. I say on tiasie Safo na bebo mo pa fe o mo pressure no ne ade no bebo mo nyese no na be sa pressure na emum bebo pa in the course of o manage pressure no unya enro bi sa nim se prekese no du papa garlic so ye du papa eboa pressure for ni nyina ka ho uye ne to nchen a esan se you be more on ma da bia wo moja no say wie ni bia no iron deficiency bi anna say nipa no bone marrow issue ti da bia ni moja no say kwa na ekofom safo no so ya ye agan tonic sa tonic ye de beboa mo na ama moja na say do mi anga sa me num bie no unum ye na instantly no bo hu bibi e wo system no ye mpese ye be ka hu sempi na wa ba na akotobia eho na abehu se edura ye kan asem se de sitie ye sha Africa hanso a ye hu se malaria tiatesepa because Africa entontum di enya
na enso ni sha se toto a
enya sem keto a Richard na ye arewo se we say entontum no de osa ye de wo asum no so nyo no so na e ka wo we ni ye de wo asum no na no frost no be ka wo ono so ka no ho na bro no wo no plasmodium falciparum no eho ne wo enti se o kaupe no desire you know malaria no so abetena mu kankan ye nuan ma no ma fa afro omo tete pa enti se wo fa afro pe ko hospital na ama net se ko da netim because e basa etimi afete akra no so enu ti na ehu hia pa enu ti ya dwene mo ho aye nhwehwemu wo sa ne ma we nyina ho akofa edro ho aso e fe no agan malamesin so a eno so nam kwan so ba eno so ba beboa pa na unya sa do no bia wa so behu ontontom akekawo malaria wanya ni nyina ebe firi ho akwa ama omo da bia na oye adwuma kakra bi no abrɛ saafo ni nyina no sɛ nro we ba bɛboa mo afei obutantim na akasa no Semens Vital Herbal Mixture ene ne capsules no a ye frɛ na gan no ɔno nso edi ne dwuma na esi na dwuma na ɔyɛ no wa trema masisi a ye kɛse hwɛ omo num nyina edi adanse ne de nti a ɛte saa ne sɛ yaka kyerɛ sɛ ansa no bi bɛyɛ aduro de aba abɔnti no betimi abɛtena nhyira no abɛbɔ ho dawuro no ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɔde aduro no afa de wɔso ɔde fa de di kan ida sɛ ɔde bɛkɔ tech KNUST ana sɛ ɔde bɛkɔ akuapem mampɔn ni ahwehwɛ nnuro no mahu sɛ aduro no sɛ nipa no mu a ɛbɛboa no afei woyɛ no to nkyɛn a wowie a ɛwɔ sɛ ɛkɔ FDA na FDA fo ama license ansa no watimi abɛbɔ ho dawuro nti obi aduro bi a wayɛ bi a ɔka ho asɛm biara no ɛyɛ dupa nanso adan nti na ɛne nkɔfo num nnuro bi a ɔnom na sɛ ne yare na ɛwɔ a na ɛkɔfam ɛwɔ a na apagya bon say started complaining ade asumasi num aduro yi on de onom ya na ho tɔ me nkwa me nom a me ho ntɔ me ɛhɔ no na nsɛmbisa no wɔ no ɛno ɛna pem sign for afato yɛ ho so sɛ utɔ ya aduro ni bia ɛwɔ se yɛ diagnosis ansa na amoa nom unya no ba bia de nti ɛte saa no nka utɔ aduro a dosage bibia wɔ ho anase pharmacist no utɔ ya ɔbɛkyerɛ dosage no bɛyɛ de ɛnde ɛse dosage o de munya ni nyina man because yɛn pɛsɛ saa reoccurrence ne saa babiem sɛ bia me nom yɛ no me sisi na yɛ me ya no me nom yɛ kɔfɔm a afei sisie no asaba anase meti brɛmu na yɛ me ya na me ti na da bia yɛ me ya no me nom a asɛ me hunu so kwa so na ɛkɔ soro saa ɛno no na yɛ sɛ nsɛmbisa bi wɔ akyirɛ hɔ sɛ yɛbusa na afei yɛboa wo deɛ di kan w'adwuma a woyɛ adwuma bɛɛ na ayɛ ɛkwan a wofa so yɛ adwuma no ɛbɛtumi amoa anya reoccurrence na ɛbɛma wo yareɛ no a wo so wo kutia no ɛbɛsan aba anase wanya yare foforo bi ebi ti sɛ diabetes nom pressure nom ɛno wɔ saa yare wa we a mebodin ɛwɔ ensunsansuo bi a ɛsan de ba obren bɛka sɛ complications menkan kan so wanya diabetes no diabetes timi kan wani te so wanya diabetic retinopathy ɛkyerɛ sɛ nani wanya how wɔ hɔ in the course of managing your disease no so wanya hwɛ yie pɛ na saa how we aba san so na ebi a esan sɛ ukutia diabetes ukutia pressure no eno so timi nya effect wo entine no so wo nerves ne so yes wo nya diabetic nephropathy wo nerves no ena o how issues abem e ba sa obetete pa saafo na da bia meto ase twetweme ene ade no nti saa sciatica ne ye na nya yare na emom yare bi condition no sanso na obi ana na say entititi e kyerese moja wo se de afusa na ntimi nko bia wo nerves issue eno na agan no Semens Vital Herbal Mixture ene ne capsules no ebemu ho wonu medro ya eboa ye ntinim true nitric oxide na ewom no e mantinim da ho nti ya wo no ba bia wo bia se ye wachi se ye osisi no ene ye wo ya dendenden oto ase na twetwen onase ene ye wo ya ukotodwe ye wo ya anase waposo no ebetima niema pi ida say bursitis no eye nsuo bi ejejina ye joint ho eho na issue no anase dompe na nkasa because ewo neurotransmitters bebre ebi serotonin I no eye mood enhancer enti obi o se nanum ato obi o se oni atenka saafo ni nyina no maduro na agbon se na bibia ye kama de amom afenso ewo substance P sa substance P no ene sa wa endorphin ni nyina ye nompemu haw enti se ko dompemu ya no ba bia obi abo sa adwojo ano si ana ho ato enu nti ene yese kona koto agan Semens Vital Herbal Mixture ne capsules no unya preke na trapa na no atobi aka ho na afi wa be friend numbers ya mbabuboi ehu hia pa tro numbers ni nyina egu because pepi no am say mo number be free bia na e busy numbers ne 4 enti e tro se nipa nwotwe ene kura numbers no enso da bia ye nya complaints e wo ho number edikan is 0241 604 702 Faye was 0500 88 30 and it was 0244 718 557 the chat one is 0500 88 90 this our number C4 and our befre ufra ye befa ye no bekasa wato aduro no bi ebetro kwan abefa so abenu aduro no afei akwantra hodo eka ho wadwuma semu wadidie no no mu afei ye sa tro general issue bi a betuma abo apa obi wo wan ma da bi obeda be sori na ne honam nyina ye ne ya no complain sa ose menso amedantem menso amedidi ntem ti adenti na me honam ye me ya mesa no mu nduro so a me ya se kofom pe na asa aba ho na ebebisa questions e bia na wo yare bi e wo ho sa yare no complications na e wo mu ne betuma ye wo sa ebi se unya enteric fever na se typhoid fever etimi ma abo ye o ya dendenden etimi so wati bremu ma ne ye o ya dendenden sa so na peptic ulcer enso tie nti afenso ye wo age related issues bi so ebi ti se spinal stenosis unyina na untini na esi emu tua nti na bon se mpanfo pi da bia no pressure na e wo soro nti eno sa na tie enu nti ne se kona kota agan no na to preke natural powder no e ka ho na afi free numbers na ye boboy no wo fra nkomodidie mu no ye beboa wo unro bi a wo no mo hospital ni nyina ye mo amfa nguo ye be mo anu maka ho ne akyerɛkyerɛ onema afi ye be kyerɛ wo nnuane bi a wodi bi be juices anoma e beboa be complement e do na medo na ho de no ayes akosoro na wayare sa no so aye tiawa e de amawo tubon se adanse na nkofu di da bia no unsu betimi abedi bi na bibia e kama de amawo ni nyina nse edro semens vital herbal mixture enen capsules agan no ubetobie na afi wafrɛ na ye kasa asem we ye dro no ye ton pharmacies herbal shop drug stores bia bi te se Kolinak num dani herbal num afi Coastal Pharmacy have me pharmacy num ewo asafo he ya ho nyina obenya bi ho afi so uko PFA pharmacy ho na dosopu na kasa wo ewo Kumasi Neuro Junction obenya bi ho afi stop bi e ben bi abora ho uko asmeto agan na meto semens vital herbal mixture na capsules no ye yima wa afi no aba be frɛ numbers no na yama dosage no nsem na ebebusa no based on nsem no ene de ode beba no ene ye be gina so e de akyerɛ se do besi anom no na ye kan si sudwa ye mbie clinic e wo ba bia ebi mu frɛ ene ye call mu clinic ho ene ye pese e ba mu clinic ho me pa to ye nyambie clinic for now no edro ne aye ene de akogu pharmacies ne herbal shops nti kɔ ho na kotobi na to wi a wa be frɛ numbers no wo ye bema o mema sem na nye atofom ti na edro ndi agan no me pa to kotobi Mosa na say information 442 ye bie sa information we ma wa ubegina brand ne ama mo piafo sanso na omo a sabi omkoja omo na moja efiri emu ba no moja no say kwa bright red eye tre say hemorrhoids and as piles koko no me pacho to edro ni bi de ne rectal prolapse ya na nkokobu ni yiba de abetwetu anto kwan na edukro na abeto na afei wa free numbers no ne ebu nkomo numbers ni biom 0241 604 702 0500 88 30 phase 0244 718 557 na the chat on 0500 88 90 said the buyer again betimi ato se amount koto na free numbers ya editu dwai na bibia be kama ba the amount itado
edamase pa anti edro no ewodwa so said ya chechem no munko na munko tobi na bibia enye kama enso emfa emam yento so emfa mamo odwumadi ni so. Now, renting message or dear very, very touching. I say a friend Opoku Adebo. I say, Richard, I'm in my 30s and I started supporting Arsenal at age 9 because of my late mom, who was a staunch Arsenal fan because of Kanu last night. It was all tears of joy. I rented a story, I say, I say, so support Arsenal at the age of 9. It's only 30s. Afina Arsenal amani trophy na ose ene maame nti ene maame support Arsenal ne maame kwa sabi wa film na no support Arsenal because of ayawan kokano na enu bra e ba Arsenal G trophy no enu oti ni suo papa. Alright, Arsenal fan bi asa na me di kan fa message bra na yankin kan show no so emfama one man na Vamekai yeba start EPL yama obia ye ne top 4 but one man or the top 4 no so or the Arsenal you have the belief say Arsenal betimi agya fi EPL ni dey sitting now so was Bismarck Owusu Bempa Ayala otrase Ala, good morning.
Good morning.
Na bibia boko de.
Oh yeah, yanko pardon me very fine.
Den ya me ase. Me kai pa time you ever started this season. And a retro attire obi a in the top 4.
Yeah.
On power top 4 no say Arsenal na be league no.
Yeah.
And I'm for ayala power bi analysis Arsenal team we a de bia no ma bottle de bia dia no hu omumu a o so ma league no. Dia na hu yi ye mu bia hu.
Say kwa na obeti akano. Okay.
Mesamo before we start the crown Jeff sa wo ayala top 4 na fato bi go bi all kinds of because bia Arsenal giwi na mo ba be kase ayala top 4 wo dia mo fanto ya ba start season obia efia obia in the top 4 o sha ayala nko top 4 no ye na o de Arsenal to soro Arsenal na be di afi league no at the SCN na so Jeff mesrawo fato YouTube na amanfo mo hwehwe no enso na me hwebi
Rich, first of all, na enyoma enketi bi na mekeka bomu a na bibie wo mu bia ejidi se Arsenal be league we na didi kan say success in pempi a progressive as the second that in itself a success enti baby anu mu free ba ne baby anu madru no Rich na me say the way they kept building on the omoye na fibiano na omobeti assign dabi. I so much believe say they've been very very consistent with their climbing. The way no musi fro omo fro na eye den ya ekwan na omo faso omo de fro no omo njaye no muni abre ne nkwa the rich no mbe fredru top one day. And see, that is my first thing. They are tossing. Rich, Arsenal went through a lot of pain. A yow. And ne bibi catch me say, sa a yow no, a boabu no ama. The day they will say, no. Yenti mi international de bia yendi yaw no. Sade no media to say I feed there with the lessons from your yawa yedi in the past no ye be pese be before front ya say when munyam, and I believe it was this year. Number 3, I don't know the entire a lot of people aren't pay attention, but Rich, a new man Arsenal now on the transfer market is to build a squad that can win them the league. Nti Odiopa bon company ko wechibe last 2 seasons me fa nkweche bebre. All that Arsenal kept doing was to build a squad a bit me mo Managerial league no. Se me ka se omo build this squad a bit me mo Managerial league dem pese me che say all the times at Arsenal Eben league na no muntiminji omo ben league na no muntiminji ni nyina no. Rich, it was predominantly because na omu ni squad that is deep enough. Na say along the season, you know, fatigue, loss of form, injury, bibi ebetu omu players no me key to Arsenal progress ni biano. Se sa de na mabobo si na etu omu a na omu nse de ni backup papa bia. Until once Arsenal identify data, omode no ni madu eke baso se Bukayo Saka bibitu na oba bebo, omode Ezel baso se Odegaard free ma oba bebo. Then I knew no. This Arsenal team, yes, is not only building a first team,
and as a first 11 that are very, very competitive. But they've learned their lessons, say, within a stretch of the season. Say, oh, here Pep Guardiola in the team now. Baby, and say, they are able to bring in a replacement. And if I can't be shema, not what you maintain it, baby, and that is the difference between Arsenal and the Pep team. No, they said no way. And Capemra, Kofa Calafiori, the mascara, you could clearly see Arsenal were building backups. Even in the season they had Kai Havertz, Munu Gabriel Jesus, and enough for them to win. They said, okay, let's go to Sporting Club de Portugal, convince Victor Gyökeres, let him come. Arsenal were building a very, very good squad. And to win the Premier League, you just don't need a very, very good first 11, but you need a quality squad deep enough. All the adversities about to work on, so no, you have what it takes to make sure say you measure up to Eno. Rich. Unim diama kenyina. The most crucial thing I convince me is na beji league na. Sa mamba be ken. One way a eno pa ne be wiawo. Ama unjindi se Arsenal beji league na. Rich. Say all the athletes esif field so omunko America 100 meters. The reason why Bakubedi first, Bakubedi second, Bakubedi third, Bakubedi fourth, and say a boom sets pass omunkwa. Rich and you munina ne beti near through mika as fast as the obedi first no. Enti the speed now what they be kono. The oko speed the pan will finish first. The oko edinetika can will finish second. The reason why people didn't know Arsenal was going to win the league, and they say, Rich, in everything that you do, say ubedi first. It means your other competitors must within some time now ubedi first. No, I was a omo performance ever from a chain. Okay, and Sana the first. And yes, 30 season, you know, you watch the typical Arsenal competitors. Now, Osha omo consistent performance. They were not matching up to Arsenal.
Yeah, Liverpool is 30 league.
You get it?
Yeah.
Then,
5 matches, so much
the moment a training hitting Liverpool, Chelsea never competed.
Yeah.
Omo at a point in time, okay. And so my time, I think for you, Yedi and Cassie League, no. When they were also hits, they couldn't come back again. Now, I can't Chelsea, Arsenal and Man City. Rich, sadly, way I was always saying it, but people were not paying attention to it. Me say, me. Obian who Pep some chime. Me a true and true Barcelona fan. Me a true and true Pep Guardiola. But no credit say there was too much attention on Arsenal. And my Nkofo every free say this Man City team is not good enough. That is the reason why I reach. Even on days Man City lose games. So who compare on the days Arsenal lose games? Then people are saying Arsenal are bottling the league. But the Man City, they are people don't say they are bottling the league. Now I'm saying, the league na here bono. Arsenal points be yeah, omo league ni bo machi, and omo makanibo league ni ko mani mana. Because Rich, in the race na yemi enu ye kono. Say me say am 3 points. Wo say am 3 points. Say wo bo draw am 1. Me bo draw am 1. In that same race na ye kono. Say me lose points. Everybody say maybe Momo Botleno. But say who lose points? They go for you they be where they city.
Yeah, because of Arsenal history.
History.
That's why we are bottless.
You see rich.
Go could drag the animal as or more fan will be a Jeff from them.
You see, the me person make you say people were paying too much attention to Arsenal. Inti Emma omu failures became too much highlighted. Amanko for free say omu Arsenal no omu compete no were much more failures than Arsenal. Na emu why people have failed to understand that point say the reason why Arsenal were going to win the league and they say the competitors were not good enough. Nobody said Arsenal were going to be invincibles. Arsenal were going to lose some games. They were going to draw some games. But compare Arsenal to the competitors now. Rich, they were not good enough. Or no one to me, Arsenal in that same parameters. Now, okay, I think it was on the 19th of April. And Man City share Arsenal 2-1. I came to stand here. And I'm a catcher say, fixtures now can. Man City, I'm sure with this season, they are not going to win all those fixtures. Yeah. And remember still Arsenal League. Now within this line, Everton, Bournemouth, Arsenal are winners. Rich, apart from all this scientific in your man, minim say unya sa feeling nibia. Rich, haven't you felt so deep in your mind, soul and body? Say will be mrenyeda. Feel is hadi nibida. That is how I feel about Arsenal. Aside the science analysis, Rich, during the preseason, Mikel Arteta ne story na. Me we jumedia no adina. Na me we team na or they ever prosecute season na. Rich, something in me told me this was going to be Arsenal's time. And until now along the season, Arsenal fought Hame. Along the season, Sankofo raised issues of officiating. Say Aqua ama Arsenal Hame. Because when it is your time, everything works in your favor. Say all lose game Ukraine Rich, your competitors will lose too. And see, it was Arsenal's time. I don't begrudge people who didn't feel like I felt. It's say unya sa feeling it's me. I don't have a problem with that. But Rich, me control radio so that I felt in me this was Arsenal's moment to win the league. And there was nothing that was going to stop it. Sanka Enra, Man City share Bournemouth tumpa. Arsenal would have gone to Selhurst Park and beat Crystal Palace and win the league. Yeah. It was their moment. Time so obi antimi nya ho hwe o.
Time na so.
No. Obi antimi nya ho hwe.
Okay.
And minimum who doubt it, Arsenal are deserving winners of the English Premier League. Now Rich,
na Urefiana.
Oh,
Kaba.
Okay. Me refia se mo.
Listen wa ha.
Me ba. And opaway, me sorry, I had a message 2 a.m. from one Dr. Emmanuel Asare.
Okay.
Or US New Jersey. I was sending me a message 2 a.m. almost 3 a.m. To me, sorry, I'm not parents on me on Facebook. And I say, because I've been very, very consistent on this Arsenal Veggie League, I said, on my lunch. Until me when I'm sure, okay, I'm true to his words. He has sent me 1,000 CDs.
Wow.
Say area we for
Enko
lunch. So I decided to mention his name, Dr. Emmanuel Asare, or New Jersey or US. Now, Rich, then I asked na board draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Miti here. Doing our analysis, and I'm saying, I will bet on anybody or give this Arsenal and win a league. Omo Betty and I remember Fifi came to sit down. No reading message before on the phone say UK say on also be Betty. Look, Omo call Betty nibi. I mean minimum. This show we don't know them. Omo omo de omo guts eba say omo be Betty no. We nye kasatin team ya.
Mia Kasama down for Hustler JKD UK. Hustler Mpa.
Who the Dino, who Dinibi. Mrs. Bob, or mention
Matro Dino. And now, Yanni Ankasinia.
I think there was one. Yes, there was one.
Ben. Yanni Ben.
You're so good.
Yes, I'm monkey canning now.
This show has always have integrity when it comes to betting.
And I said the Roman Achabedu much.
Yeah, you go 14 now so because of betting. Mesra unim say oka onwa that day obeto bet Libya. Na odo
that be good for them.
Good for bet no see Chelsea be championship. You didn't 2K ever seen a yenten nka. You be kindness ah obe say obe redeem no. Enti we yen kasa nkwachi.
Okay.
Rich, wow, to bet
Libya di hunim pacho.
What you throw number bi bra. Ebia no obi ti be go so. 10 so the throw number bra. Throw number bra na yemfa.
Yeah, me sense so be me Kasama down for.
Obi go be throw we echi.
Hustler JKD who UK mpacho mesraw. Bet in a do for Sika bra.
Yeah, obia.
Yemia Ben also the me kai pa. Obia fa ni sika no me ejeje. Na bibia anya sa yoko be du achi. Yeah, I'm a friend, Romanat. On studio, or castle Bechewa.
Ethiopia.
We are dinner. Good. And you choose what we are bill. And you move on to Timna.
Fatilo say,
when you're fine.
Yeah, number a DJ bet now.
Okay, Hustler can't send a message about so he show no. And she Hustler in the fast.
Hustler number in here.
Yeah, but one number is
here. No more calling your number in here. We by the time you be pon no do huni neat. Oh dear, yeah no, ya ma figure bia. Enti din you do and to be diligent, you send it to this number 0248 103045. 0248 103045. Jonathan Esi Edu Fatilo.
Okay.
A number no. Enti why you do bet ni bia no. Na wadi huni kama.
Hustler say was send a message so be di huni sisi.
Fantastic. It is 0248 103045. Udu huni kama. Udu huni so a ye ba be ka.
Oh yeah.
So to bet no I do. What me
about you for no YouTube for na me refi bi.
Oh.
Emran say be to be me. Me try as I can make
try. Udi jiomudi say omwa kasa wo feel it in your house.
But I touch never tia. After the Biabada radio.
Oh, Magasa Metro, but rich. Correlations to us.
Sure.
Yeah, bra penny de la so. Yeah, bra penny can come do your bra penny achi sometime. Oh,
what is some refi at any time?
Refi. Can come see.
I can come there already. Medin can come.
Oh, okay.
Achina na refi say achi fan Arsenal fan and a sun timer.
Yes. Omo brother. Arsenal fan. Omo nyina celebrate omo we no. O me mini pebi so.
And I madam go Edum Martin. Or pass na chebibia.
Oh, any.
Or this is boss of Marcia.
Oh, okay. I so Nana Tromo Hene. Sledge.
Okay.
Sledge. Big Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Big. Nana Onkaso as a Arsenal Gilligan. So social media home man. I reached 22 years now in Gilligan.
And he's 20. Monsieur Brent to beat him down. And now, Bridge Boy side was an overtransnational.
And you is you.
I was like, really?
22 years.
To bridge in so
big club. Big club.
Finally, Arsenal had the league.
Look, only Arsenal now.
I want to
yes, but Rich, and I say, Yemu be a boy channel. We've seen Arsenal in their glory days now. But Rich, to have a gap of 22 years in between successes. Now, all of a sudden, Arsenal be Rich, allow them to be happy.
Yeah.
And they deserve to be happy. Giddy. And to correlations to Arsenal fans in
Kevin Bless, I say a car be fear. The bad losers 10 ghosts. Dear ghosts. And your video is ghosts were here. Yeah, we make sure we hand them. We will definitely hand them. Mrs. One farmer, Romanato on call baby. Sasa hapa panmuni mno ndo wachewa. Do kroma bi. enti ahon sem no eno no odo me ko twa be that ura bi say na ya she bi jesi as I you me life me bet they say there. All right, yentosi 704.5 na brand message bi wa I say okay mama na me ngramu kakra I say a friend Ima I say Nhyira should be invited by the hosts of the Premier League one day to give a little insight about how he analyzes details about football. And EPL for them say some now I'm consider one day I'm invite Ayala. Na onko cheche ninsem enso awo yebefie na enyime Ghana yegina eye akonoba before me dey under 17 onsensem no ade ebeto eye edwa no said ye nanim nyame adoma this coming Saturday na Ghana ye ne Mexico friendly game no eno so ebetimi abaso obi man so eye Mexico kronim na according to the Ghana Football Association Kasama for Henry Asante Chum or say players ni na sabi kasa 22 obundina no akakopiem ewo eye Puebla aho na the international eye funny game no enso betunya akoso ewo eye Mexico enti players ni na me kasa Joseph Opoku, Prince Amuakon, David Odro, Ibrahim Osman, Aziz Issa, Majid Ashimeru, Jan Kwesi Jamra, Jesharon Rak Sachi, Afe Falesa Fenajan, Emmanuel Ejay, Daniel Ejay, Salim Adam Costa Entry, Terry Yegbe, and Afe Abrante, Nathaniel Ejay, Ebenezer Aban, Oscar, upon Razak Simpson, Ebenezer Adade, Solomon Agbasi, Jerry Efriye, and Benjamin Asari, Omudinano Evrem, our Black Stars campaign, Amiadma Saturday, Yeni Mexico friendly game, no, and also a bit to me, Atogam, in some premier Becca Hunsimpi, but and you may Ghana na 17, Ejina Ayakono, I will be my so Morocco. Na and that game, no, in fact, a quite beer, say a first when you win, no, or say a first because Ocean group now, which is A group D, no. Say Yentimi Ansha, and as a Ghana, you say bye bye to a under 17 African Cup of Nations. Ekoso awo a Morocco. Then you may 7 p.m. You know me from South Africa. And now a day Pimso, our Honoma, Ocean League at Diana. Algeria, your group in the moment did come with 4 points. Senegal, Etosum, you no more 3 points. South Africa, and the airbo and you may know. And also our 3 and a Ghana. Yena ikato kra awo yen group no so ye wo just a point and neno kwan bia so say ye bese etimi e qualify ko enimi dia ye maswin edema emrante na omuni emro emfie edu and so na head of the game and na head coach edema team no prosper na togum or den sam kakra dia tuja ahoboa team na ye ahead of South Africa game no.
We've already engaged the boys this afternoon at a video session, and then if you look at the training we even did today, a component of that was part of the training we did today. So we've seen them. Tomorrow we'll come and continue, make sure that we get our defensive shape right. For the offensive shape, I don't think we have any issues with that. We stay very expansive. Everybody knows what to do with the ball. But then when we don't have the ball, that is where I think we need to work on a little bit. And we've spoken to them, we've shown them videos, and we don't want to get into that stage, so we have to go all out mentally and physically. We need to go all out, and if you look at the body language of the players, it's clear that they are ready.
Okay, and coach Prosper Natogum, I say Nemrante no. In fact, mistakes on my our previous games in the no Nemrante Natanasi. Watch some videos. Watch some bia mistake baby. I feel say I'm fall short no honey no. Watch Nemrante no mama koye and so our training ground now. Sit the team no. Osha baby all problem pa a defense ye ni ball na edna e problem enti anem rante na kasa na osha rante no so ogide say omoti no na na against Arabica no ogide so omo prepare pa edna yebetimi ahye South Africa na yetimi akọ yanimti person at ogum eno no Arabefa
I was a fa.
Okay,
I was a fa for a lot of reasons, Rich. You need any excuse ourselves. Say, what follow this under 17 team? Which be any doubt about the talent of the team. From the goalkeeping to the defense to midfielders, any attackers you do more tournament way. Say unim players no individually. Nobody any what doubts about the talent of team no. Rich, sometimes say who put it together such a talented team. There can a coaching and a guidance. Unya no so corrector, they must give you results. Now, Obi will follow this under 17 particular team way very, very well. Ebia so say they were given one of the best of preparations. Campaign, training matches, exposure, BBR. They were giving it. Even in their last days. The Football Association traveled the team to Ivory Coast, played 2 games, traveled the team to Morocco, played against Mali. Amoniade. So this team, look, Paspanate Ogum, and the team way. Yeah, assemble they travel to Samate Skobov matches for they play some games at our Krasport Stadium. They've traveled to play a lot of games just to sharpen up cohesion and familiarity within the camp. And in terms of preparation there, they can never say oh man, you're the best of preparations. And to reach say talent in the year, not preparation, yeah. Diaka and say tournament proper no. The guidance and the coaching must get us the results. Mimpesi ebe dwell so much on the 2 games na ya boy chemo. The concentration is on South Africa. Now, Rich, have you realized that in our group, Obiash Obiaka Yankwa, Obiash Obibi, into South Africa, she is Senegal, Algeria, Akoshe, South Africa, Senegal, Eshe, Ghana. And it is our time to also beat Obi in the group. Now, you a very, very good standing. Say, you bet me qualify for the World Cup. Ghana will not mind if we don't even win the under 17 AFCON. The purpose of South Tournament 20 year, yeah, preparation na could be and say we will make it to Qatar for the World Cup. And ne is your musi. Now, Rich, say who could game be say South Africa already have 3 points. South Africa say a draw against Ghana qualifies them at least to the playoff of the 3rd place. No? Yes, you say game na we must win. I thought it'd be on Rich. In those 2 situations, who are game searching for a win, no, who decision making a better than Obi or Gilisa drum poyamano. Because for such a team, I thought they go through the conundrum of Minko attack and I mean defend it. Because me both drama. But for us Ghana there, we know we have to play grade A game to be South Africa and qualify. Minimum football and 1+1, no one can say 2. Football sometimes doesn't really follow logic. But Rich, I have not watched the highlights of how Algeria beats South Africa. But Algeria team na yeye ni omuboye no. If they are able to beat South Africa 2-0, then I think so we have a chance. See a bit in South Africa for an ball. And I am just believing in Coach Prosper Ogumnina Najimai. If they tell us they've really prepared for this South African game, I'm just praying, say, enya no kre na results in nko ye ma omo. Anya sa they've really disappointed us. In all honesty, with the quality of preparation and the talent, power, a woman seminar. Yeah. So when the 1 point to prefer a group, they've really disappointed Ghanaians. And yeah, bomba say no man koye. South Africa is so show they play fast football. They are very, very direct. Said to a room maybe also me catch so South Africa for pay catch no. And you size yourself up against them. And when we say at the under 17 level, South Africa can share Ghana. Okay. In any competitive game, you hope say history no will follow. Na at least and yet a win na ya qualify to the playoffs no krana na yesu see a chance. Rich, how can you go for a tournament 10 countries from the continent to go to the World Cup na yentimi yankobi? It will be very, very sad to say Ghana will miss out. Inti yenye no ma ye na enwumre yentimi qualify. Say game near 7, right?
7 enwumre.
Your bompa say no ma befa e de amayen.
Hasla JKD. Odini huni.
Odini huni o.
O say was send this cano.
Okay. Ono no die nie. Okay. Ndo was send 1,500.
Okay. Hasla muso
wodi no.
Asa de anka me ma.
Aka fifi nipa no.
Remonacha abba UK. Ono so do nya do wura Ghana. Be okra he ma wo. Kovi, oni par catch de no. Me de me nya free yoko no nya so no mu a.
Me ba me.
Oni pe obeto beti.
Na se ben mabon ni ana.
I me refi ba ko bi akoma try
na e ben no.
Any e ben me kai pa.
Na se ben wo no men nti.
Jaji se mi wi am.
Na onti so onti show no. Enye yam frɛ no.
Ben no no radio ka enti.
Dada.
Yam frɛ ni so bu. Don't miss the sound.
Oh.
Yeah, new product so.
Enti Ben. The um say.
E mani me so the yogurt.
Why ya fast.
Also crowd any on the border. Any on the border.
Also crowd the open tech police station. Idu be wura oma. And Hasla JKD. And who's on.
Na sana Hasla na watch and fatu bizam za ro kope bo money joint.
Obi o UK.
Na sana watch. It's never lose e bia we see for back now bia UK so of joint ja.
Na dey akebo.
Bushia ma now.
What's we now?
Come in and you ever far? No 17.
It's always over there far.
So
because personally I want to go to Qatar.
Okay.
To follow the boys in the under 17 World Cup.
Beautiful country.
Yeah, we say far more. But I think say rich now saying South African countries no one we say in terms of talent
okay.
So they tend to develop their squad based on structure and a strict tactical organization. Send a bad things of the show. Watch the 2 games of South Africa now. They have been very resolute in terms of when to press, when not to press, when to go for it. So more discipline and instructions are we here to build a solid team of bad things of the show. We are also in a little bit of a disadvantageous position because and number one, we should be able to handle the pressure. I think we didn't quite do that against Senegal. Handling of the pressure. A little bit jittery kakra. Even against the Algerians in the second half, it's the in-betweens of the emotions that are affecting. In the game against South Africa, a make or break. We should be able to manage the emotions and the pressure. You manage emotions now. We'll be calm because in terms of the talent levels, we are better than them. What is going to be huge is going to be the dominance in the middle of the pack. And then we need our boys to step up.
The problem by defend is any born.
Exactly. Without the rest defense, it's any born how we defend. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something I said by now Ogun should have been able to work on. Rich, in our country, say our name we ding. Now results in South Africa on all levels we get it.
Okay.
So I want to believe say and against the South Africans we'll be able to get the results against them.
Be able to beat Senegal.
Yeah.
South Africa for Senegal. It's just you can't underrate them.
Like I'm saying, South Africa for Natia, sometimes in West African countries, you have a big mistake in thinking that talent levels not quite okay. The moment for me, team, one show your man getting not the technicians.
From him now. Almost so much of my dream. And the Arsenal fans and the Jumedino, more NID, and the Mamza 3220. A3581, A3582, A3583.
The last enemy message said 10 hours in him. Can't congratulations in Channel.
Dela so.
I sent a message said Charlie, it's been 10 hours. No congratulations. It's boss, maybe I will be congratulations. I know. I think so. Last draw because of the congratulations.
Hello, first color.
Ricardo.
Yes, sir. I'm part of me too.
ya we ana ne ti go go.
Ana ne.
Oh, boss ba ko pe.
Bibia fa on.
Oh, we sa no bi for na be kan o. Ni na yim na wa yes na ye de na. It say emu de papa. Na member ayala ba so say this is that no o so ka ta na be league no. E do be na city class I no but still but after na be league no member na ba so. After finding out so and pay more day. Okay, ya di papa. Esa se ache, me aba da sa me ko da mu sa sa di Premier League do. And send get my Premier League na Richardo.
Ate, ya da se e ma obi nsum rabi. Hello.
Richardo.
Yes sir.
About Ruth Masa.
Hey, about Ruth. Me too catch up nyame adu ye ho ye.
Catch ya say me feeling booster. Every day, Adam won na gina pinkin sa Arsenal baje match ayi. Obaje league you know. Adam mu ko lusu baby no. One of your countries should be a jam last week mo asase. And also on the other should gina mu sa Arsenal. Abaje. And I had Arsenal for us me a chance di abati I am manage. I am on wa say. Ayala analysis no. Ana atini abani.
Okay.
Yamen kama umetia Gabi. Ana fatilo.
Ate about root ya dance pa emfa ofro. Hello. Hello. Sorry. Hello.
I did not know any come out of your who are them home.
Mos.
That's what about them papa and somehow. And somehow papa nyamese kana kore medie afi ankoya mamiu. Kotoko yanchimanye. Let's say because I say me chances so and no so atiada yantimanye chances the one who hosted the whole world yen yatmaji league a cup bia e bin see that and na chance for the one who but na yes akafu we yetimi bibi na yantimanye no we are not kotoko there now no but almost no ye be new kotoko nyame nka mo
yeah that's say Amos. Hello.
Richardo.
Yes sir.
Good afternoon.
Only have the Richardo because I feel like
okay.
Richardo. Almost catch and say, I feel on your bottle. The heart and queen, Chelsea is one queen. Richardo, and I'm a Manchester.
Ah, is it that do an refi?
Yeah, United forever more.
Ah, your next season,
Champions League is so best in a crowd.
Aye.
Yeah, I'm good from Wabo. That's
it, yeah, that's it. Hello. Yes, sir. Council, I'll go to Goniana.
Ah, we are the king of Tasida, I go to go neck. Okay. With the Mamefa Akoya Wisina, a Protua, the original officer, commander, a branch with a fellow commander. Aha, do more on the support. You didn't, and I think it's a crowd. Now, we tell you the make a list. You see the protocol, the old thing, you see, and you I see one time, but. Yeah, can see about to send your money na yi. Na Arsenal also Richardo me fa konya we su ne moma ba so. In fact, o ma ya de pa, de edredi, o ma ya de pa. Na kotoko so ye sre. See empeni for yanke kan na ye next league no. Ye team out to your money ye ama bibia ko so ye de ama ye. But
yeah, that's it. Info from hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon.
Pastor Dean, I mean you.
Oh, but man, Martin, father. Not living forever, no matter the weather. Victory for I'm loving you.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Our two Arsenal. You have for last call na yabatisia. I saw that Ebony.
Champion Maritaro.
Rap and impact on me too.
No boss, me that be manager not be for chance to man one the party this watch chapa.
The system mine.
Yes, gas will be in China who come to swam about the police station that you are. Now, Ricardo, Arsenal for as the be on Pama Crystal Palace. Sanse na no awon Man City for board na ya do su ba na ege omoje leg na
omne Everton no
Everton
Enti that enti omo atede bia omo fama wo mo na nbra nso omo ngofo ya magic for no boy omo so boa omo enti scan omo ji amomo bu ma te se Crystal Palace omo ne for Everton for omo ne for kwakọ pa na na omo sika bi omo ma Arsenal sika bi omo ma omo
so wow
so omo je legend ha
yeah
so omo je legend so omo mo ten
ai
so omo na boa ma omo ne Man City for about 3 me boa
and Everton
and omo ni 15 tama omo ma bomba
me da se pa ye twa ngitu abi na ya basisi ya
be ma wo Johnson ni mu pai e bi kam
Amwakon, David Odro, Ibrahim Osman, Aziz Issa, Majid Ashimeru, Jan Kwesi Jamra, Jesharon, Rak Sachi, Afe, Falesa Fenajan, Emmanuel Ejay, Daniel Ejay, Salim Adam Costa Entry, Terry Yegbe, and Afe Abrantie, Nathaniel Ejay, Ebenezer Aban, Oscar, upon Razak Simpson, Ebenezer Adade, Solomon Agbasi, Jerry Efiye, and Benjamin Asari, Omidinano Evrim, our Black Stars campaign, Amiadma Saturday, Yanimesigo friendly game, no, and also a bit to me. I told you, I'm some premier Becca Hunsimpi, but and you may Ghana na 17, Ejina Ayakono, I will be my so Morocco. Na and that game, no, in fact, a quite beer, I see a first when you win, no, I'll see a first because Ocean group now, which is a group D, no. Say yentimi ansha na as a Ghana ye say bye bye to a under 17 African Cup of Nations ekoso awo a Morocco na nyumre 7 p.m. ye ni o from South Africa na ade pim so awo honoma Ocean League atwede na Algeria ye group no mo na di count with 4 points. Senegal etoso mi no mo 3 points. South Africa ne ebo anyumre no ono nso awo 3 ana Ghana yena itwato kra awo yen group no so yewo just a point and no kwan bia so say bese etimi qualify ko yenim dia maswin edema emrante na omuni emro emfie edu and so na head of the game and head coach edema team no prosper na togum or den sam kakra dia tuja ahoboa team na ahead of South Africa game no.
We've already engaged the boys this afternoon at a video session, and then if you look at the training we even did today, a component of that was part of the training we did today. So we've seen them. Tomorrow we'll come and continue, make sure that we get our defensive shape right. For the offensive shape, I don't think we have any issues with that. We stay very expansive. Everybody knows what to do with the ball. But then when we don't have the ball, that is where I think we need to work on a little bit. And we've spoken to them, we've shown them videos, and we don't want to get into that stage, so we have to go all out mentally and physically. We need to go all out, and if you look at the body language of the players, it's clear that they are ready.
Okay, and coach Prosper Natogum, I say Nemrante no. In fact, mistakes on my our previous games in the no Nemrante Natanase. Watch some videos. Watch some bia mistake baby officer. I'm fall short no honey no. Watch Nemrante no mo makoye and so our training ground. Now sit the team no. Osha baby all problem pa a defense ye ni ball na edna a problem enti anem rant na
this in beba no mayenko Unilever for ho na sene de bi omo quality products no yenim yenu ho adanse emfa enkire ye tiefo ene ahwefo de di kan seminar ye friend lax de ifitete na Unilever for e de aba e de bo busia ene afiefie mo ho ban enkra wo mpanyimfo oba wo bema wo kokko tuntumo sene okala tie bia no lax seminar seminar papa edema and crack school omoko diagro na bacteria sene fanga ne moa wa yemfa ye ne ho panyimfo ye kwa adwuma ye beba ne mfifiri ntino na moa bi ewo skin nani se ye be pamo omo na ye skin ne beto so na ye be fresh ye de seminar lax and fititi nyina ye de adware na ye de ai pamo sa moa ne nyina ma ye busia ene ye nyina enya gi adware ho intimisraw say mami no say papa no say akra no say small say koto seminar de bedware nko ade akwa na wato lax ni bebi eto seminar bi akwa onsa ebetimi akabi open dodo ato and say open dodo atu a na wa 0240 219191 0240 219191. Upe deodorant papa Eddie egu omoto na amawa fresh for 3 days. In free until enenka aba ho ye sham na wankasa o feel confident a Rexona almost 72 hours omo deodorant ni bi the number 1 deodorant obia agiatum enunti na be bia ye ton deodorant bia no okwa obuso mo se open Rexona 72 hours ni bia onsa ebetimi akabi ntimi sraw say deodorant na open use a na wama na ye Rexona almost 72 hours ni bi open the dodo ato Kumasi a ko edum market wo Mrs. Anoche Plaza building opposite Boss FM onsa ebeka Daddy Ash e ho na wato bi e won ho oko Beauty Glow or 2 shops e were Doom PZ I buy Sempa Pharmacy no and I will do KJT Dubai store number G1549 I ben police station no and I say gate 8 ho sa building na CBG e wo no Beauty Glow e wo mo kwa onsa ebetimi aka mo free liver for nankasa e was 0543 384-958 0543-384-958 Lax any Rexona deodorant no na what to be na onu obusia e use no kama okay mpacho ye ko ne ekofa adom kase no de abremo na before e be kokra no ene eye Prince Mensa enipa dodo na efe Kobe ene eye Kobe birthday even Kobe anya 1 year ene o mame adoma owo mampon ese yere show happy birthday nyame nhyira na nyini be panimpa na onso my Ghana ani abusuani nyina no enya oso emfa so nti Prince Mensa aka Kobe happy birthday to you boy nyame nhyira opa sanso na yeni ankasa yeni Mickey ye driver wa ha Mickey say yere she Ethan upon asamoa yeboa ono so enya 5 years ene Oko school our Sunset Montessori school our Kromwase Enzema or KG1 also and then with a happy birthday to you from Uncle Mickey mama no papa and Mr. and Mrs. Eyabua Omundinano as yam show happy birthday also nyini na ebeye penipa na Ghana nano enya also emfa so happy birthday 8 upon Asamoah I told you the adom kase na etwaso ye ba ya na obrato one atwaso
da bia ye ba